Welcome, welcome, welcome to Blended Healing. Thank you so much for tapping in today. Today we're doing the Women of Wisdom Roundtable discussion. I'm going to wait a little while for my guests to come in. We'll wait. Just enjoy the music for a little bit. So, welcome to Blended Healing. We have met the 2-minute mark. I guess my special guest who will be accompanying to our discussion today, we're going to be going over the movie, The Reading. So, whenever they decide to pop in, I'm going to just start and get this over with. Well, that's kind of wrong, right? I'm going to give it a start. So, the movie, The Reading, was the movie The Reading was a movie based upon a home invasion, allegedly. And the main character played by Monique, was Emma. So in the movie, it stated that Emma lost her whole family, her husband and her 2 children. They got murdered. And she wrote a book about it a year or 2 later after the home invasion. So when her sister-in-law, and she also piggybacked as her publicist, decided that they were going to let a psychic come in and give Emma a reading, since it was a couple of years past since she was going around doing a book tour, that she would actually want to talk about it, and as a publicity stunt was to get a psychic to come in and do a reading so it can promote the book. So now, hey Takara, I need you to hit the link that I sent you and come up on the panel, please. Takara is one of our, thank you so much. Here we go. My guests are coming in. Welcome, Sultry Sister.
What's
Welcome,
up,
Alicia.
boys?
What up, what up? I'm waiting for Takara to hit the link and come up on the panel. And I believe then after that, we only have Shalimar is supposed to hit the link at some time. And then we had another guest. So it would be Takara. It would be Alicia Dion. It would be Sultry Sister. And it would be Shalimar or Mayat. And also the other invited guest was Wise Woman. I know Wise Woman is working. She's probably going to be tapping in. at some time. So I was just giving a background on the movie, the reading. So, but while we'll do that, I can go back to that again and we can just start it from there. So, um, hey, booze, let me take this down so I can see y'all in your greatness. All right. Hey, booze.
What's up?
So, sultry sister, I'm so glad you was able to make it. Please let everybody know who you are. Just give a little background of who you are. Okay, doll?
Sure. I'm Sultry Sister. I am a tarot reader. I'm intuitive, I'm clairsentient, and clairaudient. I've been reading tarot for about 3 years now. Finally got my YouTube channel up and running. It's Tarot for the Soul for those of you who are interested in checking out my page. I greatly appreciate it. Right now, I'm in the process of uploading the zodiac readings, but I also do collective, messages from spirit, the universe, all that other good stuff. Um, so yeah, that's pretty much my spiel.
Oh, that sounds good. Later on, during this program, we're definitely going to drop your link. So people, I ask you to subscribe to her channel. Alicia, darling, please tell us a little bit about you.
Hello, hello. I wasn't prepared for an introduction, but hey, some people
Well,
need
you
an
want
introduction.
to.
I am me. I am all things wonderful and delightful and mystical and magical. I guess that's the best I can
Hey,
come up with.
room shaker. Hey, how you doing?
Yes.
So, Alicia, where's
Yes.
Takara?
Okay, so Takara has problems with StreamYard,
Okay.
but she may have to. Did she get in? She may have to get in a
Yeah.
different way. Like
Okay.
maybe like how we did it last time.
Okay, no problem. No problem at all. So, like I said, I did everybody get to watch the movie?
Girl, how many times?
No,
Girl, was that movie deep or what?
Girl, let's get into it.
We got wow. When I tell you whoa and all the notes that I took on that movie was crazy. I have to give a big shout out to my girl, Room Shaker. We're gonna drop her link also in the chat so you guys can go over there. Room Shaker is definitely a veteran on these YouTube streets, and I like her content. You know, it can go a little left sometime, but it's based upon conversation, what's going on. But I like the way she's very authentic. I like her. So we're going to drop her link later on in this as well. So let me give you a backstory. So for those who haven't watched the movie yet or will be watching the movie, this roundtable discussion, this women's roundtable discussion, is going to be talking about the movie The Reading. The Reading is based upon after a deadly home invasion, Emma, who is the main character played by Monique, uh, copes by writing a book. But when a young psychic by the name of Sky and her team perform a reading for her in her home, a new terror unleashes. So, the question for the panel today is life imitating art or is art imitating life? So here in the spiritual community, the way things are going in the spiritual community, being more mainstream, pushing um occultism or pushing it so much that those who were practicing spirituality for so long has now seen people pop up and putting their own added spins to it. So at the end of the day, when the movie The Reading came out, I was like, this is a very opportune time to come through and talk about it from a spirituality sense. So that's where it was. So anybody have any thoughts of how they felt the movie was overall before we deep dive into it?
Okay, I do have some thoughts. Um, I feel as though for this particular movie, there should have been a little bit more research into um how readings work and what needs to be done in the process of readings before a reading occurs.
Agree.
Um, before you even step foot in someone's house to do a reading. Cause I feel like had she got in touch with her Ori, and but that's a later part of the discussion. Cause I know damn well my spirits guys wouldn't let me do that there. So I feel like some more research needed to be done. I feel like it was a rush script. I feel like they didn't spend no money on hair because that budget was terrible. But hey, that's my thoughts.
Okay. Sultry sister, what do you think?
Unfortunately, I was not able to watch the movie, but I do agree with Alicia in that when they when Hollywood does try to depict spirituality in movies, it's brushed, and the movies are
Mm,
low budget.
okay. So then this is really good in a way because Sultry Sister, you not seeing the movie and us who have seen the movie, you can look at it from a whole different perspective on what thank you so much for dropping her link. I appreciate you. Um if you look
Yes,
up
ma'am. Very
HB,
welcome.
you can look up HBIC for me and drop her link. That would be great too.
I got you.
Thank you, doll. So with that being said, you can hear it from a different perspective as I go through the plot of the movie. I hope it's not going to ruin it for you too much if you decide you want to go back and watch it. This movie was a thriller, so it was just very interesting to see how the characters interacted with one another in regards to the two main characters, which was the psychic reader as well as the protagonist, which was Monique playing the part of Emma. So, from a spiritual point of view, my take on the movie was that I agree with Alicia. I believe that they should have took more time to step into the world of being clairvoyant, and how they truly do work. But you have to understand, in the same retrospect, um, you have to remember these people who were doing the readings were considered hustlers and they were looking for marks. So it gave you the essence of that, the fact that these people were just doing playing, giving them the Willy Bobo. Thank you so much. They were giving them the Willy Bobo, meaning that, they were doing this shit for shits and giggles. And, just trying to scam people. Like, people are easily scammed when it comes to these readers and people who pretend to be readers. Um, So I'm going to get into the first part of it and then we can discuss. Let me put this out here for Takara. Um, okay. All right. So in the beginning, the movie starts with Emma's recollection of the events of the home invasion based on the book she wrote in the interview. Who got killed in that movie? Her husband, her teenage daughter, and her 5-year-old son. Based upon going through the movie, you could tell that this was an unsolved case. Um, Nothing was taken from the home. It was just murder and violence. And then she came forward a year or so later after the fact, um, where it shows that Emma, she was attacked based upon the beginning of the movie, to the point that it affected her walking and her voice.
And cut off
And
her
she did,
finger.
yeah, I was just going to say that, and they cut off her finger. So her assistant, right, which they didn't really tell you who she was in the beginning. You knew that she was a publicist, her PR, or whatever. But as the movie progressed, you found out that she was her sister-in-law, her husband's sister, who was doing the tour with her to set up all of these different gigs and be her publicist and everything like that. So the publicist decided that if we get a psychic to come in, this may be a good thing to do to push the sales of the book. So that is the plot of what and how the movie started. Um, Now let's switch over to the psychic herself. Her name is Sky. She was a nice young woman, definitely in college. I ain't like her boyfriend. I thought he was shady because he was all about the dough. And then she had her best friend and a tech guy. So her best friend definitely had a background in medical because she would monitor her chest, but I think it was considered a prop. Her the guy who did all the tech and filming, he was just a part of the crew, so it was a four-person crew. So Sky, um, they were showing in the beginning that she was doing a reading for another student, possibly another young man who was trying to get in touch with his mother. And you could tell she was faking it to a point, and it was just like she was done trying to manipulate people by doing fake readings. Because remember, by universal law, you're not supposed to do fake readings. I mean, people do that if they don't have any morals and stuff like that. But this girl, Sky, felt like she had some morals. But then she was weighing it against trying to help her friends, um, trying to help her friends financially, trying to get through school or how they were going to make the money. And also, Sky had another element because she was taking care of her mom, so to speak, and she didn't like the way her mom's was getting money. Let's be 100. So let's talk about the fact of fake readers. So, Alicia, when it comes to that, what do you feel in regards to people who are fake readers who take advantage of people who are vulnerable in that state, who just want some answers? How do you feel about that?
I feel that that is just completely and utterly wrong to mislead someone in such a state when they're in a desperate they're in desperation of reaching out to seek closure. Like if you ain't got it, you ain't got it. Just let it go. But she clearly had the gift. Some way
Mm,
she had some sort of a gift, shall I say. But
mhm.
with fake readers come the consequences of opening yourself up for possession.
That part.
And then I don't know if anybody else caught on to this part, but when they were telling the story of Emma and she was in the kitchen cooking, the thing that stood out most to me was the song that was playing, A Shell of a Woman. I'm like, damn, why is A Shell of a Woman the song that she chose to play as she's lovingly preparing food for her family?
I
You took
didn't catch that.
the song says, "You took my heart right out of me and tore it into a million pieces. Your lying tongue warps my mind with all its pretty speechless. You took everything from me you thought were worth taking, and all you left me is a shell of a woman." That foreshadowed the entire movie for me. And the way that she was dancing off
Wow.
beat was like, okay, wait a minute, that's not even the same rhythm.
Wow. Takara said yes, she is. Alicia.
Okay, I got it. One
All
moment.
right. So, what do you think in regards to fake readers and seers, sultry sister, and how that spin is on the game based upon what you do as a craft?
Well, it's wrong. It's wrong, and it gives true readers a bad rep because there's a lot of people out there that really do need the help and the guidance, and it
Mm-hmm.
makes them hesitant. It's like someone trying to find a caregiver for their loved one, but they keep hearing about all these caregivers that abuse and exploit people. So people just
Yes.
go without getting the help that they need. But I do believe in karma, and I do believe that that stuff does come back to the fake readers.
So there are people out there who do expose fake readers. They dedicate themselves as doing so, and in the process, um, I get it because you don't really know, and then usually you give the person enough rope to hang themselves. But then again, you have those who have a raw talent in having this gift that was given by the creator. And we know that gifts that are given by the creator are meant to serve humanity because that's what we're here for as spiritual people, is to help humanity. So with that being said, um I personally have um I have gifts. It ain't hard to tell. I do readings, but I do other things as well. We tapped into it a little bit when we talked about the herbs and stuff. So people know I mess around with herbs. It's out there now. Okay. And I believe in knowledge is power too. Because if you know something, or if you can help the next person who's a spiritual being to discover their gifts as well, then that's your job to also help them, then give them a lending hand with, I would say, with discernment. Because you don't know these people that you're dealing with, so you don't know if they run a game on you or not. So now you're in protection mode. Like, are they coming to get me to get me, to like expose me and I haven't done anything wrong? Or are they really legitimately like wanting to know the process? Because people are, let's keep it a buck. People right now and these days are so sketchy, you don't know who to believe and who not to believe. You don't know if you want people to know that you're a reader or a seer or anything with gifts. I run the middle of the line when it comes to that. It's like, yeah, I will expose myself if I know it's going to help you, especially in the moment when you're seeking the help. Then on the other side is, I'm not going to let you know everything that I do. I'm going to let you know if I feel the need is there to let you know. So, with that being said, how do you feel about the portrayal of, in the beginning of the movie, so to speak, that Sky knew that they were running game because her boyfriend kept giving her a look? I believe she had a gift because you could tell that something was trying to tap into her. So I believe her gift was definitely clairvoyance, without a doubt.
Some
And
karmic
I think
debt.
I'm sorry.
I feel like they
Hello.
created some karmic debt. I mean, I feel like they had all opportunity to, stop that, but I feel like going along with that and misusing and taking advantage of most people that come to readers come are people that are seeking genuine confirmation and support in something spiritual that they cannot, that they need aid with, that they cannot, journey on their own. So to take advantage of people, I think they just pretty much racked up on a lot of karmic debt. The reason they got into that situation. So I think they kind of evolved themselves into that situation, kind of sowed that seed.
Okay. Understood. Takara, welcome. Can you please give the people a
Thank
little
you.
bit of information about you and who you are, and just a little synopsis about who you are, doll?
Okay, my name is Takara Sensei Tigger. Um, that's what I call myself. I'm a 6 years served in the Air Force, Air Force veteran, martial arts sensei, artist, and a reader myself.
My. Thanks for coming out of the closet. Didn't
Thank
know
you.
you was didn't know you was a reader, Takara. Mm.
Oh, she
Okay,
reads
we
in a
going
special way. She doesn't read with cards. She reads with rocks.
well, we
It's the
can
weirdest thing.
definitely tap
I've
it.
been reading rocks since I was at the near beginning age of 8 years old, and I thought I was different from everybody else, and I was closed off about my gifts because I seen everybody else with all these pretty tarot cards and crystal balls, and I wanted one of those. I just had plain old rocks, and I had to learn to accept my gifts for what they were.
Well, let's just say that when you have a spiritual gift, it doesn't matter what the vehicle that you use. It is
Facts.
the passion, it is the connection to the creator and spirit.
Facts.
So with you just reading rocks or whatever you want to do, or that's the gift they gave you. So that means to me that you're tapped into Mother Earth.
Yep.
But I
Yes,
digress.
ma'am.
So with that being said, welcome to Cara to the Women's Roundtable discussion, Women of Wisdom's
Thank you.
Roundtable discussion on this reading, on the movie The Reading. So getting back to Psychic Sky, she did have some type of a gift. I believe she knew she did, but her boyfriend was hustle man. He wanted to make a buck, and they came out with this scheme in order to disconnect people from their dough. Point blank. Period. And I felt that Sky realized that this is not the way to go because her conscience kept nagging at her. Her conscience kept nagging at her. And with us being here, I do believe that we are all gifted and we all have different spiritual gifts or magical gifts. And I can speak for myself. If I'm not acting accordingly or acting properly or doing what I'm told, I feel out of sync. I feel as though something's not right. And I believe that they bring that to my attention that something's not right. Can y'all speak to that part of it based upon what we saw Sky going through when she was going through this part of this isn't right. I don't want to do this. What do y'all think about that?
I think the only reason why Sky started saying this isn't right and I don't want to do it is because that they were getting close to touching her. That they were angry and they were coming at her and she was afraid. I don't think
Mm,
she just did it because or she wanted to stop because it was wrong. Because that's how she was paying for school. That's how she was paying the bills. So I think that when she read the guy that first in the beginning and his mother almost touched her and her being touched previously by someone on the other side, by a spirit on the other, I'm not even gonna say spirit, by an entity on the other side. I think she knew she was pushing her luck because they were getting closer and closer to her with each reading.
agreed. I agree with that.
Takara, you want to jump
Synop
in?
to
Um,
Sultry Sister.
Oh, hold on. Go ahead.
Sultry
Yes.
Sister. In regards to people utilizing their gifts for wrong, in the case of Sky, I know you didn't watch the movie. In the case of Sky, it showed, hey y'all, it's 1, 2, 3, 4. um,
Hey.
that means steps, y'all. We taking steps. Um, I believe that in the real world, where we are today in today's 3D, I hear feedback.
So do I.
All right. Okay. I think
It's
it's
gone.
gone.
Yeah.
Okay. So with that being said, um, somebody's not muted, or they
This is
have two
only me.
devices going on at the same time.
Nope.
All
This
right.
is not me.
They don't want us to talk about it, but we're gonna talk about it. So, with that being said, sultry sister, that Sky felt as though she knew um, that spirit was getting closer and Inti was getting close to her, and she felt it in her spirit, and she kind of felt as though it was time to stop the nonsense because she felt the danger of it. Do you feel that people who are readers or clairvoyant or clairsentient, clairaudient, or the clairs, do you believe that there is a niggling feeling that we get if we're operating out of our scope?
Yes. I had a personal experience. I was offering a certain type of reading in my Etsy shop, and people were buying it. But after a while, I just felt like I had a gut feeling to tell me I shouldn't offer this type of reading anymore. So I stopped. It was
Okay,
like
can you expound on that a little bit?
I just felt like this heaviness. I was offering readings, telling people uh, it was like what is their karma type of reading. So people would buy it because they wanted to know what people that have wronged them, what is their karma for, screwing
Mm,
that person over. So I heard a voice that said, "You don't have the authority to tell people what other people's karma is." So I stopped offering that type of reading. It just didn't feel
that's
right.
what I'm talking about. Excellent. You hit on something excellent, which leads us into the part where we go to a part where Emma fortified her home. That stuck out to me because I made a notation about that. That after the home invasion, she made her windows bulletproof. She got an oak door, which is very hard to get. They made a very special notice of that, that it was an oak door. She had alarmed and locked every door in her home that led to the outside, bulletproof windows that led to the outside, as well as she had a cameras all inside and outside of her home. She had done all of these things. So I was feeling as though that was overkill, but I believe that when the movie was going forward, I kind of like is now I'm kind of understanding why she did that in a way. So I'm not going to drop that dime until later on, but I had a feeling of the reason why she fortified her home that way. So the next stop we have is Sky's boyfriend, Money Man. Money Man, Money Man, Money. He's the mastermind behind the scam. Sky doesn't want to fake readings anymore because her boyfriend loves the money, and they were getting it as a team of four. So, with that being said, that explains the client's mom tried to touch her body and jump her, but she kept it at bay. And since she kept it at bay, so there comes the portion where now we're kind of understanding why she was scared. She explained the fact that to her boyfriend that she did not want to do this anymore. She knew that it was wrong. And she also knew, this is where it came out, that she had a gift earlier on and she had an experience when an entity jumped her body. So I'm going to throw that out there. Has anyone sitting in this round table, have any of you personally felt a body jump? Or do you know what a body jump is?
I don't know what it is.
Okay, a body jump is when an outside spirit, say you are in the midst of channeling and doing a reading, that the spirit, based upon your client or whatever, whoever spirit that you're working with, actually attempts to jump your body. It usually happens when you're doing a reading for somebody who has a person that crossed over, and
Okay.
they have a lot of strength. So what they do is that they want to communicate to the client themselves. So that entity will enter into your body and attempt to talk. That's body jumping. Have you ever experienced that?
I just recently experienced something similar to that. I
Okay.
was doing a cord cutting, and I didn't do it by myself. I was doing it with my sister, and she had a Shango chant going as we were going through, and as we were doing this cord cutting, I remember telling her, I'm like, I'm tired, I'm so drained, and it's like I feel like I'm about to faint, and I fainted, but someone else came forward and then started chanting and speaking in different languages, and it was like I was present, I was there, I knew they were there. But to me it just seemed like a higher level of self, where it was different lives that I may have lived that was coming forward to help me fight what we was doing.
Now, when
So
I heard you say that you were doing a Shango, is that what you
my
said?
my sister she was playing a shangle chant, because I
Okay.
this particular, well, we've talked about this. I believe this person still means me harm, and even though I've done a cord cutting, I did another one to try to
All right. I
prevent
want to
this
stop
person.
you there because I need you to explain to the people who may be watching in the bushes or who may fall upon this replay. I need you to break that down to me. What is Shango? I
Okay.
know what it is. Sophie may
Shang
know what it is.
Shango
Shango.
is the Orisha, is it Orisha? He's the let's see how to best explain it. You want to help me explain it?
He
Who?
is
You
one of
talking to me?
the originally it's Yemiya's
Son.
son, I believe.
Yep.
And he is like the husband of was it Oya?
Oh yeah.
He had three wives, but he's like well, what you would be considered like over thunder and lightning. When you hear all that right there, it's like he's over the axis and the fire, over the elements of fire and stuff like that right there. And Shango is just pretty much the element. He's kind of like, to me, what if you wanted some like a warrior, like a protector in so many ways, or if you need that energy to have that courage to protect yourself for doing whatever you're doing.
Okay. Thank you so much. Please
That was
continue with the story, Alicia.
yeah. So as I was doing this, um, there was like I've never spoken in tongues. Okay. So even in church, I never spoken in tongues. I've felt the Holy Spirit with when the drums are present. Yes. So the drums were present in this song, and they were very pronounced. And that is what got me into, my meditative state as I was cutting this cord, and I was releasing all of these emotions and feelings and attachments this person may have had on me. Um and as I did that, I started singing. Um, it started out in French. It went to a Indian style singing, as in a Native American style singing, even a actual Indian. Um, it just different people came forward to help. Oh yeah, came forward to help. Yeah, came forward to help, and it was just something different. But I wasn't afraid and I wasn't scared. I was just drained.
Okay. So you didn't fear any fear with that.
Not
How
at
did you
all.
feel? How did you feel that they were possessing your body without
Um,
permission, or did you give permission?
I did not get permission. That's
Okay.
why I was like, okay, wait a minute. I didn't give y'all permission to do that. So why did you do that? And I was like, okay, well, maybe that's just other alter lives that I've done, us lives that I've had that came forward to help. Because why would you come forward and that's not what we were doing? Like why would you take over when I didn't give you permission to take over?
Gotcha.
I wasn't
Gotcha.
open to that.
All
It
right.
was a simple cord cutting, and as it progressed, it just got intense.
Okay. Now, that you said that you were speaking a higher language when this entity jumped your body. Did they
Yes.
identify who they were? Do you have a sense of who they were?
Um, the one that was speaking French, I want to believe, was Maman Brigitte. There was a lady who addressed herself as Adina, and she was of Yoruba distinct, wasn't she?
Yes.
She was, yeah, she was of Yoruba, and Oya kept saying, I knew it was Oya, and I knew Yamaya, because there were Yamaya has a saying that she says, to calm me sometimes, which is basically peace, um, which is basically being peaceful, but um oh yeah, I kept saying Iku, 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 and I was like, "What? Who is Iku? What is Iku?" And when I looked up Iku, it, I determined that Iku meant rat. And I'm like, "Is she asking for a rat sacrifice?" I'm like, I don't do that." I don't,
Isn't Iku also a trickster?
that's Eshu.
Oh, a shoe. Okay. All right.
Yeah,
Okay.
I know this just took a whole nother turn.
Listen, I'm not gonna get into the Orishas. I just trying to they try to so basically what you're saying to me, from what I'm understanding, is that you felt as though you were body jumped by deities.
Yes,
Okay. All right, that's deep. That's very deep. Um, Sultry Takara, have you had any experiences being body jumped by a spirit or a
Yes, I
deity?
have. I have. I was in a relationship with somebody, and I noticed they were trying to stop me from operating in my gifts, and they were telling me there's no way you can do reading with rocks, and you have to have tarot cards. And I noticed that they were just very bent and urgent on me not reading. So I laid my rocks down for a while, but one day I decided to pick them back up, and I said, well, because I didn't have any peace about it, and I began to read, not necessarily spy, but I began to read because I felt like I kept hearing this. I was acting very childish. When I say childish, I'm not talking about wanting to skateboard and eat ice cream. I was waking up in my sleep, whining like a baby, and just doing stuff like that. And it felt very weird. It was just beyond anything I could understand.
Hmm.
So I began to do a reading, and I just began to see, began to feel. I began to, how a baby, how an infant would. I began to drool, and I began to, however an infant would act, and when they're trying to pronounce themselves. I had this lasted for days after the reading, though. Even I began to just whine and have tantrums when I couldn't have something. It was taking on um a very weird nature. And I went to this individual and I asked him about it. And come to find out, I said, I described the children, because I was seeing these children, but I didn't know why I was acting like a kid. I got scared. And come to find out, this individual had a whole, what they call, backyard abortion.
Hmm.
And I didn't know what to think of it. And I went to them and I told them I described the child. And I guess that's how the child's father would have looked at it. And they said, they slipped and said something. And they basically got mad at me and let me know that they felt like I couldn't help it. I was trying to protect myself, but the body jumping, I was open at the time because the individual was doing black magic on me anyway. So at the time, I was already, my circuits were already open, and I was a little bit weakened at that moment. But my body jumping actually started to happen, and that's actually what prompted me to go actually open up and do my reading.
Understood. Understood.
Yes, ma'am.
So, Sultry Sister, have you had any experiences as well?
No, I have not. I
Okay.
do. When I was doing readings in my Etsy shop, they're on hold right now, but I used to offer messages from loved ones. And I remember this one particular reading where I heard a person, I was channeling and I heard the person yelling. I mean, I don't know if that's
Mm,
body jumping, but I heard the person like yelling. They really wanting to get a message to the person that I was reading for. So I was
mm-hmm.
like, this person is like really, they were trying to give the person words of encouragement, but
Mm-hmm.
they were like yelling.
Mm, okay. I myself have had an experience with body jumping. It happened right after my brother passed away in 2020. He body jumped me. Um, it was the most craziest experience that I have ever felt in my life. I didn't know uh, how to act. I didn't know how to feel. I was scared because it was my first time that it ever happened. And I was talking to his daughter and I was giving her a reading because she was kind of lost because my brother's death was sudden. Um, and I was just explaining to him and tapping, into just to give her some encouragement. And then he was saying things, and I was giving her the messages and giving her instructions on where things were. That he, find out some things because my brother was very meticulous with his records, but there were some certain things that they did not know. So, with that being said, I guess I was not doing it fast enough for him, and he jumped my body and he started talking. And after it was done, it felt evasive to me. I felt scared. I felt upset. What? Because I was talking to her on the phone, I ended up putting both my hands over my mouth and I just pushed away from my desk because I was at my desk when I was doing it. And that's normally where I used to do my readings there and for people. And it was the most horrifying, scariest thing that I've ever felt because my body felt off. It didn't feel like me at all. And with that, I pushed away from this path as far as reading and stuff because I felt as though I wasn't ready for that. But then I spoke to somebody, a friend of mine, who grew up in this type of environment. And she told me that I have control over what type of readings and what I accept and will not accept when it comes from spirit or source or entities that you're working with. You have the power over them. So I was told that if you do not want this to happen to you, you tell them right at the bat, do not jump my body. I do not invite that. You will not have that over me. And with that, it stuck in my mind and I was okay. And then eventually, like maybe 3 weeks later, I started to like go back into doing readings and stuff. But, I had it in the back of my mind and I was like, no, I have the power. And with that, I've never allowed it to happen again. Sultry Sister, when it comes to what you were saying, yes, I hear them talking and yelling and laughing and doing all kinds of stuff. But as far as them possessing my body, they will never do that again. I
I,
will not
I
allow it.
I agree. I had to get to a point to where I said, y'all, I did not agree. No, Y'all gotta leave. Y'all gotta go. I did not invite you in. It's okay if you come and visit. You This is not what you're gonna do. You're not gonna take me over. If you have a message for me, you can stand right there and tell me without jumping in my body.
Facts. So now going back to reviewing the movie The Reading, we have now gone to the place where Sky's motivation for doing what she was doing is to keep her mom from um to keep her mom afloat financially, because her mom was like hell bent on her getting her education. You could tell that she was going for a doctorate. Her mother did not know that she had gifts.
But Michelle,
And
can I interrupt you real quick?
absolutely.
Did you notice the degrees her mother had on the walls? Her mother
Was that
was,
her mother's degrees or was that her
yes, though
degrees?
that was her mother's degree. Her mother
Okay.
was a master
Okay.
psychologist, had a doctorate in psychology. That's probably why she didn't want her mama to know what she was doing.
Okay, so I had it reversed. I'm glad that you brought that up. That was her mother's information. Her mother had hella degrees on the wall. But then it kind of like made me wonder, not to go into the fact of getting too much into the mom, but then when you were saying about the song about being a broken woman, um it kind of like reminded me of her mom. Like what made her mom not practice? What made her mom become that type that she kind of like just gave up and that she sold herself for money?
It had to have been something similar to what
Mm,
Sky experienced, because why else would you not want your mom to know? Like she like she did not want to go public. And I mean, it's only
no.
so long you're gonna be able to keep something like that, secret from anybody. Anybody that
Right.
surrounds you, they'll notice your behaviors. They'll notice when something is happening to you, or when you're interacting with spirit. Because they're like, "Who are you talking to?" And I'm like, yeah, me, myself, and I." Like, nah, you
Right.
was talking to someone specifically, and I was like, yeah, well, see, I have this thing where people come and talk to me, and I have to talk to them back sometimes. Yeah, I think something like that happened because her mother was clearly very smart, and she went through great lengths to express that, hey, you got your
Hmm.
brain from me, you got your smarts from me, as she's watching a TV show and answering the
Hmm.
questions like
Yeah.
off the rip.
Facts. So with that, I just wanted to touch upon her mom a little bit as to the motivation of why Sky continued. Even though she said she wasn't going to do it anymore, but when she got to the reality of what her mom's was doing to get money, she decided that she was going to go for the scam one last time. She was going to make it a big hit because the shady boyfriend told her that they can make 20 G's off the rip, but then if she does good, that they may get upwards to $100,000 for the gig, and that way Sky's schooling can be paid off and help her mom. And then, of course, the other kids would get money as well, who were a part of the four. So as the plot was going along, you kind of figure out, how did Emma, the protagonist, make her money, besides the fact of her husband was a diamond broker. So they ran along the plot twist stating that that's the reason why the home invasion happened, because that's what he did as a living. Then it came into the fact of her sister in law, his sister, her husband's sister, was a publicist or did, that type of promo. So it gave a background to what it was, that how they got their money. They never indicated what she did as a living, but you could see that all the stuff wrote on the husband as far as um getting that to go.
Go ahead.
So now the boyfriend, I said, was very greedy. He didn't really even care for about how she felt and about how Sky was feeling, how she said she was scared. And he knows that he kept going, well, this is fake anyway. So he really didn't even believe in the gift that she had. He felt that it was fake because this is something that they all came up as a scam to scam people out of their money. So so he felt there was a scam of her communicating with the dead, but she knew that it wasn't. She knew that it wasn't. So I believe that she knew, like you said, Alicia, that she came to the realization that uh, this is not a game and we need to stop this while we're ahead of time. So, what is your thoughts on that?
All right, hold on. Go ahead. Go ahead, Car.
Uh, I'm not trying to push it back too far. This may give a little insight into Sky, what she dealt with her mother. I've
Mm-hmm.
had personal experience. The last two situationships where I was had a lot of dark work done on me. Both of I'm talking about where I stayed in a long term relationship. Both of these young ladies had doctrines in psychology and life coaching. And with that being said, it kind of scared me. I'm not trying to scare anyone from doing a profession like that right there, but that profession is not only dealing with the psyche, but some people that come in, they're not just bringing psychological problems. Some of these people are bringing in spiritual attacks and everything else into those sessions. And I asked the therapist about that, and they confirmed that was true. Just like readers do, psychiatrists, psychologists, and therapists, they have to close their circuits out and do different things, save themselves every day too. Because it was ironic that I found out that it was really disheartening to find out that somebody that I thought was supposed to care for people would fall up under harming somebody or doing that kind of work. But there's no way you can pass to the light side of that without understanding dark psychology. And sometimes going through that phase and hearing things from other people, it opens you up, and you wonder why you're seeing things. You don't have to even be a in-depth reader to learn how to read the room if you've taken psychology. So she probably did more than likely open up some circuits. Now, where she had the choice was to, if she would get discouraged from her what she did and sit down, or either take the road that these two young ladies took that I dealt with, take it and use it for a fluke. And that's kind of the con and the pro part of dealing with something that's psychological. Most people that you find that either misuse the gift or either they'll sit down from it, they have something dealing with psychology, if you look at it.
I agree. I believe that most of the readers, um, most of the readers or people in spiritual practice have some type of humanity gift, meaning that they may have a background in counseling, they may have a background in sociology or psychology. It has something to do with their mind. And what they're also tapping into is they're tapping into the physical as well as the spiritual. And I believe that psychologists and sociologists also tap into that world too. And I don't think that some of them know and some of them don't know. So I agree with you with that. Definitely.
And then
Um,
I think when Sky took Emma's case, I think she tried to atone for all the bad that she had done thus
yes.
far. I think she was
Yes.
like, okay, well, I'm gonna do this and I'm gonna do this right. And I'm gonna make sure that she gets the closure that she needs, because can you imagine this happening to you or your family? But I feel like I fought Sky for not having enough people like her around her. Because if this is
Uh-huh.
what you're going into, if you're gonna have a quote unquote coven, then you all need to have some sort of a gift to support one another. Where if
Mm.
I'm missing something, you ought to be able to pick up on it, and you ought to be able to pick up on it, and then everybody would have been on the same page. rather than, ooh, let's get this money. We can get this money and we can do it right, but you stay on your point, I stay on my point, and we'll be good to go.
Hmm. So you brought up an interesting term. You brought up the term coven. Can you break that down a little bit? Meaning,
Okay. So a coven is basically a group of people who, you know how they hustle. A coven, a gang, a group of like-minded people who balance one another out and work toward the same spiritual purpose, if I'm explaining that best.
I think you're doing pretty good.
So when I
Mhm.
when I think of a coven, that's what I think of. Like it's a group who have balancing gifts. Like, okay, well, I might not be clairaudient, but you're clairaudient. I might can sense and feel, but you can hear. And this person might be able to see, and this person might be able to, make sure we're all protected and can sense when evil is around. And then another person can just make sure that everything is going according to plan and nobody is, getting possessed. And it's just a family, basically.
Well, I thank you for the explanation. So, this is what I'm getting from this because you actually went right into my question. So, I'm going to tap on Sultry Sister. Sultry Sister, as a person with gifts of clairvoyance, clairaudient, clairsentient, and other people that what is this? That have other psychic gifts. Uh, do you think it's okay? Do you think it's okay for people to use you for that gift?
Do I think it's okay for other people to use me for my gift? Use when you say use, like for their
Like
personal
in this
gain or because they don't have the gift that I have. Like,
personal gain,
no, it's not right.
and they don't have what you have. Say for
No,
instance, they don't have a gift at all, and they know that you do.
right. No, I don't think that it's right for somebody to use me because I can, hear and I can feel.
Mm. So that would be a disservice to you and the guides that you use, the guides that you use.
Yes, it'll definitely drain my energy if I
Facts.
Mm.
if I allowed that. It definitely drained me because I had when I
Facts.
first discovered I had gifts and I started tapping more into them. I had somebody do that, and I was like, no way, never again.
Okay. Alicia, Takara, anybody else wants to take that?
Um, at the end of the day, amongst those gifts, they are very godly gifts. They are a blessing to have, but you are still human underneath. And when the young lady said draining, she hit a very deep well with that because you have to be comfortable in setting boundaries and letting people know that I'm not your personal hit person. I'm not your personal spy. None of this is to be taken personal. But at the end of the day, it is a gift that was given to me by the Most High to be put here and to do the best thing with it, not the worst thing with it, or to take away from me my humanity, or to dehumanize me, or to demonize somebody else or myself in the process. And it would be
Mm-hmm.
doing a disservice to the person that doesn't know any better that you would sit there and allow yourself to be a personal hit person or spy or just drain yourself and allowing them to think that that's right because it's clear that there's somewhere they know better but they have the knowledge, but what other people choose to do with their knowledge, think about it, people that try to use you like that, if they were where they needed, maybe that's why they're blocking not where they needed to be. So you don't
Mm-hmm.
want to block and hinder yourself because you can be pulled back, and it is very draining, and it takes a lot out of you. At the end of the
Mm-hmm.
day, to take care of yourself to be able to carry forth these gifts is very important. And establishing boundaries up front about who you are once you allow it to be known to the world that you have gifts, establishing boundaries with who you are, that is a very important thing. You're going to run across those people. It's inevitable that you're going to run across those people that want to use you. But as long as you keep boundaries set and established and keep yourself rooted, that's why grounding yourself is very important. It's very important all the time. That you will be okay, but just know it's inevitable. Those people are going to come, but you have to have things to balance yourself out. People are going to come that you're going to be able to do good with for the gifts, and people are going to want to misuse you. So to keep yourself strong, just understand who you are, understand who you are not, and set boundaries on those things to the world.
Me personally, I'm not going to put myself in a position um for someone to use me. Um if I'm on point and I'm doing what I'm supposed to do, and I'm talking to my guides, and I'm talking to the most high spirit, and we're communicating, I'm gonna know when a person means me no good. Therefore, I'm not gonna put myself in a situation to where I'm being drained by anyone.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna put
Mm-hmm.
myself in a position to where, if anything, I'm gonna surround myself with people who have gifts that can support me and can sense what I sense and can add strength to whatever it is that we may be encountering. Because don't expect me to protect you if you can't protect yourself.
That's right.
I mean, that comes as self-preservation. I know that that may seem selfish in a viewpoint, but when it comes to me and my gifts and how it works for me, like, I travel with my sisters. We go places together because if I pick it up, I know within the next few seconds they're gonna pick it up, and without even having a conversation, we can just move on about to the next spot without talking about it, because we all know something over here ain't right. And it ain't got to be explained. Oh, I want to do this. Why you never want to do that? Nah, everybody understands. We all on the same page that it's something that's about to happen here that is not meant for us to be in this space right now. So we should hurry up and leave while we can.
Now I'm gonna throw something else at you.
Okay.
What if the person is somebody that you love deeply? Would that affect how you look at it?
No,
No.
because with that person, regardless of if I love them or not, if I love them deeply, I got out of a situation where I love someone deeply and they did not believe in my gift. They did not nurture or feed into my gift. And I was tormented because I was not allowed to be myself. I had to hide who I truly was. And therefore I wasn't being genuine and authentic. And that's not a place that I'll ever put myself in again,
Mm,
because in
understood.
that prevented that stalled my growth, that stalled my development, because I had to deny who I was to make someone else comfortable.
Wow.
Mhm,
Wow.
gotcha. So now let me throw something else at you guys. I know, right? So, being that spirituality, having these gifts, is so mainstream right now. It's so mainstream that there's a spotlight on spirituality in the form of occultism. What is your reaction to being considered being in an occult because of your gifts? Is that fear mongering, or is that how we look at it? Do we feel as though we're in a cult, or do we feel as though people just don't understand and they're throwing these terminologies around to downplay what spirituality is?
I definitely feel that it is a downplay. As someone who has been baptized and was in church every Sunday, is that okay? Let me take it back. Let me take it back to when Kirk Franklin said he was losing his religion. A religion is something that you do faithfully, right? But your spirituality is who you believe in, who you believe gives you life, who gives you breath. That's spiritual. A religion is habitual. So when Kirk Franklin came out and he said he lost his religion, that brought a turn about because he caused some chaos with that. But when you stop and you look at it, and you look at how spirituality is personal, they always say you can choose your God is your God. I can't tell you what God to serve. You can't tell me what God to serve. Rather it's Yeshua, rather it's uh oh, I'm gonna butcher his name. I was gonna say Omarula, but I don't think that's right. I might have butchered his name wrong. But
Arumala?
yes, the creator, Auto
Mm-hmm.
Dumer, or he had two
Or the
different
Dume.
names.
Oh yeah, or the Dume. Mm-hmm.
Right. So regardless of who you call as God or who you see as the higher being, religion, I mean spirituality is personal. Just because I don't believe in exactly what you believe, it's no different than religion. It's no different than Christianity. Hinduism. It's no different because if you take the time to look at all of it, it's basically the same thing. If you study your information, they all tell similar stories. It's just the names are changed. The names are different, but it's the same story.
Mm.
It's
That
true.
could be a whole nother conversation.
It could be.
Spirituality versus religion. You're gonna be open up and you're gonna have all the Bible thumpers over here. Screaming and hollering, yelling. I'm not opening that door right now.
Y'all stay where
You
y'all at.
had to go
That
in the
was just
door.
my opinion. That's
You
my
had to
sole
go in the
opinion.
door.
That's my sole opinion. Y'all stay where y'all at with y'all Bibles. May Christ be with you and go on.
Wow.
All right. Yeah. So, um, hmm. How do y'all feel about getting paid for your gift?
That's a hard one.
What I feel about that
Uh-huh.
is don't personally get too tied to that, because if you are genuine in who you are, and I'm going to say this, it's like a therapist. You have no business with the same therapist for 2 to 3 years. The idea is just like coming to a reader, which my gift is to help you understand your gift and what you need to go forward in life. Maybe take 1 or 2 good times to come to me. So I'm not going to subscribe myself to a financial idea. There's nothing wrong with it for those moments, but I'm not. I think that's where the false readers come in that want people to subscribe to them for their every move, their every need, and it develop a codependent relationship with them. No, I want you to come to me those 1 or 2 times. After that, if you're doing the work, you should have it, and I should be proud as a reader and as whatever I'm considered to you, to for you to go off and you're pursuing those things. I know my payment is knowing that watch you grow, then you do the same for somebody else, and that's a payment that you can't get monetarily, but that's where you separate sometimes people that want to do it genuinely and falsely. So if you're doing it genuinely, I would say don't subscribe too much about the monetary part of it, because if you are doing it right, they're not at some point they're not going to need you. Now, for those who are subscribed to just the monetary and the materialism of it, they will give people half answers, false answers, and not tell them the truth, and to keep them tied to them for that reason. That's a disservice to yourself, and to that person. I believe it'll come back on you. So sometimes our payments come in watching someone flourish and become great.
Mm-hmm.
Mm. Sultry sister,
Yeah,
same
yeah.
question. How do you feel about being paid for giving readings or any other gifts that you have?
I feel payment from the current, I think that's how you say it, is their way of paying spirit. Um, it's an energy exchange. So in exchange for my energy, this is how you're able to, say thank you to spirit, the universe, whomever. I was getting ready to say something else, but I totally forgot. I hate when I do that.
It'll come back. So maybe I can jog your memory a little bit. So how do I feel about it? I feel I'm gonna go along the line of Sultry's sister. Sultry's sister stated that it's an exchange of energy. Now, if you are doing this as a business, if you're looking at this as your another revenue stream for you, if you are going into it with the right reasons, remember, sage costs money. You have to sage your space. Palo Santo to meditate costs money. Burning candles or any other vehicles that you use to tap in costs money. If you are giving people things that they need spiritually, costs money to create. So, therefore, I think that it's an okay situation. Where I don't feel it's an okay situation is if you're doing it for the wrong reason. If you're doing it as a scam, absolutely not. If you are genuinely there to help the people to get them to start their own journey or giving them the tools that they need along their journey at that time, I agree with that. But I don't agree with the scamming part of it. I don't like it. I don't like to see it. I don't like to hear about it because I think that it gives people with gifts, spiritual or magical gifts, it gives them a bad rap.
Yeah.
I also believe that being in service to humanity, because that's the reason why you got the gift, first of all. Okay. So don't get it twisted. That is definitely a part of your mission statement when you came online in service of. You could be a spiritualist without having a gift, but then you have different spiritualists that do have gifts and do exchange because money is considered an energy all in itself. I'm just throwing a little shit in the game. Money has its own energy source. Okay? It's what we utilize in this 3D world in order to obtain the things that we need in order to sustain our body in this living existence. When you go overboard, where it now becomes the fact of this is something that I need to feed my materialism, then that's when it comes with a bad taste in your mouth. But as far as energy exchange, you have to be a realist if you're doing this as a business, meaning that the cost in order for you to have a place where you can buy your cards or whatever divination tools that you need, how do you keep them up and ready? How do you keep your spirit balanced? How do you do all of these things? If you're getting, if you have a following, you need to be able to buy these situations without, and passing the cost off. You can supplement by not charging them as much. Whatever you feel as though your energy is worth. You know what I'm saying? Without trying to, like, I've seen people charge $150 for 15 minutes.
Hmm.
Or if you're giving a reading to somebody, you know that you can do it in an hour. Who does that? Like, I personally, I'm going to go as long as spirit tells me to go. That's it. It could be 30 minutes, it could be an hour, it could be 15 minutes to get to wherever they need to be. As long as I'm getting that messages, I'm going to keep going. So whereas I may charge $5 for one question, right?
But you
It
gotta
never
go
is
along.
one. It's never one question because it keeps going. So, but now you have to think of it as if this is a business. Is this your other revenue stream? Is this what you're using just like in anything else? Where you buy books, cards, candles, like an apothecary or a botanica, where you go to get your spiritual items at. are you a part of that package? So there's a good side of it and there's a bad side of it when it comes to that, because you are actually spending your energy to attach. And everybody knows who's a practitioner that when you go in to do this work, there is so much work ahead of the time that they don't even see, that you do before you even talk to the client or talk to the person who came to you for help. Because you got to put yourself in a different headspace. And there's so other different ritualistic things that you do to protect yourself and the person, and all the different things that you have to do in preparation of.
Right,
So,
exactly.
with that being said, now I'm going to ask you the question again.
I remember
Do
what I was
you
gonna say.
believe, do you believe that getting paid for your gifts? How do you feel about that now? Me saying that.
Okay, so I never answered the question first round. Because that's not something that I've started doing yet, is charging people. Even though I have read people, I haven't charged them yet. And when they do ask me, well, how much, if you want to donate, you can donate. But I just needed to get that message to you, because if I don't feel led to give you that message, then I'm not gonna
Right.
do it.
Right.
Right.
So if I were charging for a service and spirit says to me, nah, you shouldn't go there, I honestly believe I would refund the person. Because yes,
Agree.
it's not so much that you're paying for the gift, you are paying for the materials to provide you with a service, because tarot decks are not cheap, and I got a collection of them joints.
So do I.
So sage is real sage and real Palo Santo, and all of that, that's not cheap. The setup of what you need when you read, or where you lay your cards and your floor, that's not cheap. I get that. But to out how can you charge someone for a gift that has been given to you to use? Like, that's what I have problems with. Like, how can I charge you for the energy that it takes for me to give you this message? Like, I may have charged you $25, but girl, going through your reading, that was like $250 worth of a reading, baby. I need my back end. So I would have
Alicia,
problems.
I'm sorry. I have a question for you,
Go ahead.
Alicia. Don't you think a person that's getting the reading, they should pay? You don't think that they should pay?
Yes, I think that they should pay, but okay, I pay for readings. So I totally understand and completely get the reason to pay for readings, but the problem that I personally have is, how can I charge you for a gift that was given to me, or that comes to me so easily? How can I charge you for energy that I've exerted, when um there's no way for me to gauge how much that energy costs? You never know what you're going to come up against.
Right. I feel like they're paying spirit. They're energetically paying, like, physically they're using cash money, but energetically they're paying spirit, because spirit is the one who gave you the gift.
Hmm.
There has to
Okay.
be an even exchange, in my opinion. There has to be an even exchange.
Okay.
Sometimes I like to pay it forward. I'll offer a free reading if they purchase, if they made a certain amount of purchases from me, or if I just feel led to give this person a free reading. But
Okay.
yeah, I feel there needs to be an even exchange.
I get that. I understand that there needs to be an even exchange. And I agree there needs to be an even exchange. But how do you put a dollar amount on that even exchange? How do you put a dollar amount on what spirit is going to do in that session? What walls are going to come down in that session? Like, how do you put a dollar amount on that?
Okay. So now you're looking at it from a spiritual aspect. Hold on one second, please. Hold on one second.
Yes, ma'am.
Y'all can still talk.
No. But
But
yeah, that's
yeah, what I was about to say. Okay, so you're looking at it from a spiritual point of view, and I get that because I had a question like that come to me when I was trying to decide if I was going to charge people for readings or not. And I had a family member told me, no, you shouldn't. And then, like, because in the beginning, I used to do it as a donation base. If you want to make a donation, that's cool, whatever, whatever. But then I listened to a reader, a person who I respected, and they were talking about how, about the practical side of it, of the items that you have to buy. But how can you put a dollar sign on your energy that you're expounding, that you're lending to spirit or whoever to get this message out to the collective or to the individual person? So, with that being said, I had to sit back and go, okay. I know that I gift a lot of people a lot of things
yes, you
because
do,
that's
and
just
we
my.
appreciate you, honey.
So that's the reason why, I go above and beyond. I always have. And I'm always not looking for money. But then you sit back and you're like, yo, I really expended myself and my energy giving you this message from the other side. Or, when you call in your spiritual team, so to speak. And Kerry has a point by saying the fact that you're paying spirit, because truly you are. You're paying spirit for tapping in. And we give homage to spirit all the time, whether we give them something on their altar to pay them, whether we purchase ancestor money so they can utilize it on the other side. But you're actually paying them by giving the stuff that you give them on their altar for their services. Okay? Based upon what we were told or taught. So I understand the position of Sultry Sister by saying that as well. So I kind of agree with all of that. But as far as putting a dollar sign, like, what is your worth? If you were out in the business world, now look at that as a business. If you was outside in the business world when you did whatever work that you had to do based upon your skill set, you expect to get paid for it. So now, what dollar amount do you tie to what you feel is your time that you're giving up, as well as the skills that you use to get the job done? Just sit on that and marinate on that for a little bit.
I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna put that in my back pocket and sit on that for a little while because
Marinate on that.
that raises a very good that's a good train of thought.
Because if, like I said, if this is going to be, and we all know, come on, let's keep it a buck. We do readings for people and don't even get paid for it, and we don't even care. Because if they're in a place where they just need to hear a word of encouragement, or to be in a place where they need to, like, yo, you need to check yourself, we're going to do that reading. We do it as a people all the time and don't expect payment. It's when you actually schedule it out and know that my doors are open from 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. to serve you in my workspace. Okay? And you know that you're doing it and operating out of a right mind and a right heart. We're always going to give back. We always do. I don't know any person who does readings for the right reason that don't give back. That's the reason why you have collectives readings. And then you have people who come up and you utilize social media where it's twofold. You're actually advertising yourself, but in the same retrospect, you are definitely helping the person. Those are live readings. Some people want to donate to you for doing a live reading because you're not putting on a dollar sign for that. You know, understand? So there's a lot of different facets, but we could stay on that topic for a long time, and I'm going to pass that over, and we're going to go right back into the movie.
I just
Yeah.
wanted to jump in. I
Sure.
intuitively price my readings. I have to look. I
Mm,
look at the reading that I'm getting ready to offer, and I'm going to in something as simple as messages from your spirit guides. $100.
right.
That's too much money. So I'll be like, okay, you know what? $15, $20. That's a moderate.
Okay.
That's moderately priced. So I intuitively like to price my readings.
Yeah,
Now
I
that
think I need to
I
go
get
back
that.
and yeah.
Yeah.
I get that.
I can get with that. I can get with that too. I could definitely get with that because I was told I don't charge enough money.
You don't, cause you
Yeah.
go
You
in. You
know.
go all the way in. You leave no
you
stone, no spirit unturned, honey. You needs to go up.
you can always offer a tip jar.
Hey, I will hit a cash app. Yes, I do.
Okay. Okay. Agreed. I have to go back and revisit. And okay. So let's move on back to the movie. The psychic Sky, when they all get to Emma's house, that's when she explains about the cameras. She talks about the unbreakable glass, and she locks on every door, and she has a gun, said that she never shot people before. So that was something that stuck in the back of my head. But Sky wanted to take a tour of the home. Now, if I was a layman and I had a psychic come to my house and they asked for a tour of my home to see how I'm living, I'm thinking you making mental notes. So when you do my reading, there's something that you're going to bring up that you saw. That there's obviously pictures there because they're in a picture frame, so they must mean something. You know what I'm saying? So my mind automatically went, why are you asking for a tour of the home? Psychics don't, well, I'm going to say the ones that I know don't do that. But then again, we're in a whole new world and you have different people who do to have different hustles. So that right there gave me a red flag um, when it came to asking her to look around. The sister-in-law Ashley was definitely a non-believer. Emily just went along with it, because it would give her publicity for her book. But then I believe that her sizing up Sky, Emma sizing up Sky, kind of like, she was kind of on the fence, like, because black people look at, let's keep it a buck. When people look at people, they be like, yeah, is this shit for real? Like, they always thinking that somebody's about to game them. So, what is your thoughts about her going through the home and asking for a tour?
A tour should not have been needed. They should have immediately set up, had a prayer, blessed the space as they were doing the prayer, and got to the reading. There was no reason why she needed to go through the house unless they were actually setting her up to come back and rob her.
That part. Okay, you led right into the part that I was thinking about as people of we just look at things different, I guess. We just look at things different. Um um Carrie, what do you think? Do you think that as a reader, do you need to have a tour of somebody's home if you're going to their home to do it?
Mm. Yes and no, because some people have gifts to where they have to be in certain spaces, like clairtangency. You touch, you can get hits
Okay.
from touching, smelling.
Okay. All
So
right.
yes and no for me.
Okay. Got you. It depends upon what type of reading and setting and you're trying to get the energy. Okay,
Yes.
so people have different gifts when it comes to that. Okay, okay. All right. I'm gonna lean towards that. Now, you do have another way that psychics or people who have sensitivities um that are false. How do you think they get their information on you before they even meet you? Because a lot of people that I talk to feel as though it's a game. So, how do you think they feel as though, like, say, for instance, these people were set up as marks. So what they do is go in and research you, see if you have any social media. They go in, do a Google search on your name and see if anything
Hmm.
pops up. And they
Cold
have all
reading.
of this side, yeah, and they have all of these side hustle things that they know about you before they go into the gate. Because most people believe that they were searched out first, especially when you schedule a reading. How do you feel about that?
Some people are good at cold reading. They'll just say certain things to see what type of reaction you give them.
Mm. Mm-hmm.
So there's that.
Okay. Yeah, that's true. Reading your body language is seeing how you react to that.
To
So
me,
with
go
that
ahead.
being said, ladies, let's talk about um gosh, it just escaped my brain because Kerry had it right on the head. Um, some psychics or people who have gifts allegedly will do leading questions just to ask you things to see what you're feeling and what direction they go, and they read you. They're not reading you per se, but they're reading your reactions. They're reading how your demeanor is. They may try to chat you up to get information out of that. Do you feel that this goes on still?
Yes, it does. Yes, it does.
Yes,
Okay.
it does. Right today.
Carrie, what do you think?
Can you repeat the question again?
The question was is that um in the movie Sky, the psychic asked to give a tour of the woman's home. And
Right.
like you just explained, that some people with gifts need to touch the space or to feel the energy in the space or touch items in order to get a read on the items.
Right.
And what it was is that some people who are not operating in good faith do searches on you, like especially if you set an appointment to
Right.
get a reading done. Some people who are not operating correctly will go and do a search on you so they can get information on you. If they can't find information on you, then what they do is they do like a reading to draw, like just chat you
A
up to
cold
get the
reading.
information that they need. Right. So do you believe that that's how one of the ways that fake readers do to get the confidence of other people?
I do.
So it's like a hustle, right?
Yes.
In some cases. Okay. So now Sky is now setting up, right? Her team is being set up. Uh Sky is starts to really tap into Emma's energy and knows that something is off while she's doing the reading, and she's all taped up so they can monitor, the whole game, taped her up for monitoring, the camera guy, the boyfriend, who I don't like. I have to keep saying I don't like his ass. And the boyfriend. And Sky is the person with the gift. So now she's literally tapping into Emma's energy. We all can agree as being readers that we take a deep breath, we ask for connection, can we connect to you or whatever. Or maybe we just don't even ask. We just know that this is the agreement, since I'm here, that this is what you want me to do. So I tap into your energy. Fake readers do it the same thing. Okay. They may pretend that they're tapping into your energy because they already know that they're going to go in here and start asking you questions to get the answers to feed it back to you in another way. So Sky is tapped in, and and she's reading off things to Emma, telling Emma things that allegedly Emma only knows, right? So in the midst of that, she starts hearing noises upstairs like somebody was running. Okay. Then um she was going on and telling her like things about herself personally. Okay, so we got into that part. That was just a small demonstration to let her know that she was tapped in. But now here comes the big part. Emma gets upset. She walks out of the room and goes into the kitchen or whatever she was at. Her sister-in-law confesses that she did give them some background information. And this is where the sister-in-law shows that she doesn't believe in this mumbo jumbo, right? And Emma is now more aware, like, oh, okay, well, next time you let me know, because this right here is getting real weird, you know, about this reading. So that's when Sky and her team was like, yo, you saying this feels funny, man. Let's get the hell up out of here. Let's, we ain't even got to worry about the bag. If you're feeling not right, something ain't right. So when you get an inkling that something's not correct, when you're tapping into somebody, do you feel that if it's harmful to you or the person, do you feel it's time to disconnect and go? How do
Yes,
you
without
feel about that?
question.
Tell me why. Expound on that. Tell me what feeling that would make you feel that way.
Okay, so like I said before she even walked into her house, she should have connected to spirit and you know meditated on this reading and seen if this is something that she should actually do, because this is a scene of a horrific crime. This was a murder, a triple homicide.
Right.
So before I even, I'm already gonna feel some kind of way. Woman, you still comfortably living in the house in which your family was murdered, like comfortably. And then if I get in there and the arms on my hair get the hairs on my arm get to raising up, and it's a bad feeling that I get. Oh, I'm about face. We not gonna stay, ma'am. I'm sorry to waste your time. I got the wrong address. I'll come back next year. No, ma'am.
Mm.
Not doing it. Because for me, everything, like if I walk into a situation and the hairs on my arm only stand up for one reason. They stand up when spirit is present, when spirit is near, when there's someone to give me a message. If they stand up and I don't feel at ease or at peace with what I feel, oh baby, about face. We not doing this. Not today. Not today.
Takara, what do you think? Should, should you
I
disengage
agree
and
with
leave
that.
with your feeling?
Exercising your discernment is very important, and I was checking out certain things that Miss Emma was saying in the movie, and to Sky, and sometimes you have to have enough discernment. I know this could be difficult, but sometimes you have to really, like I said, ground and purge yourself fast. Sometimes it just depends. That's a deep. You know the deep situation you're going into. So sometimes it's about knowing the situation. If we know how deep it is, we have to prepare a little bit differently for every situation. So to just go in there, and Sky did have a gift, but I noticed something, that Emma said when she said I wouldn't know where to start. Sky said I wouldn't know where to start what to do if I lost my whole family. And
Girl,
I said,
Okay.
girl.
when she
When
said
she
that,
said that.
that was
Hmm.
something to read between the lines right there. She was basically pretty much was giving I don't know where to start because I don't care. So
Exactly.
the situation when you know situations you're going into with people, and like you said, they had to do a little bit of research, but not so much where they had to go all the way through her house. Maybe like young lady on there said, get a feel of what room you're comfortable in. But I can't imagine them getting comfortable in there because I don't understand how Emma was comfortable there. So
Exactly.
I mean, I'm trying to comprehend you. So we know, okay. this lady lost her family. They know that much. I think they were very ill prepared. Like I say, every situation calls for different measures. There should have been some deep grounding, some deep meditating, some deep fasting to see if this was even for something for you. And she would have pretty much understood that okay,
Mm.
this ain't, but I believe it was just, the people around surrounding her. But Emma was giving off every vibe, body language, eye movement, certain words. And it's just, I noticed something that she said to her. She told Scott, "You could have just took the money and left."
We ain't
That's
got
just
there
right.
yet. We ain't got there yet.
Oh.
We didn't
Well,
get there
I
yet.
feel okay. Well, you just, different things. That's a tough predicament. I wouldn't go into something like that, and knowing it's that strong of a thing and be ill prepared, and then want to bring cameras and don't think that something's gonna happen that's beyond me or my natural abilities and not be prepared for it. So
And then
that's crazy.
didn't even ask if she had went through and had the house saged and cleared or anything to clear. Though they died a horrific death, they still in there.
Yeah.
Mm. So, what do you think, Kerry? Do you think that if you would have got a bad feeling or a vibe from a client that would have came to you, do you feel as though when you felt that something wasn't right or something was off, that you would end the reading, or would you continue? Is Kerry still? Oh, wait a minute. She dropped herself. She dropped herself down. There you go, boo.
My bad.
That's all right. So, Kerry, the
Yes.
question is that if you're doing a reading for somebody and you feel that something's not right, something ain't don't feel right in your spirit, do you continue with the reading or do you just end the reading?
No, that's a no-brainer. You can't continue with that.
Okay. All right. For those
I
who are
don't.
watching, for those who are watching or just coming in, or people who are doing the replay. This is a Women of Wisdom roundtable discussion. We're talking about and breaking down the movie, The Reading, that starred Monique as a person who had a home invasion and her family was murdered. And we're breaking it down step by step from the point of view of a psychic or the person who's giving a reading and having those gifts and what you should and should not be doing as we're reviewing the movie. So we're just giving you a background on that. Well, who we have at the table today? We have Sultry Sister, who has her own tarot business. She is a clairaudient. She's a clairsentient. She is a clairvoyant and she does other different things. And she does have her own YouTube channel right now that you can go and follow.
The link is
She has
below.
she has information here. I'm putting up her information. Her name is Sultry Sister. She does have an Etsy shop where you can purchase readings.
They're on hold right now, the readings.
Oh,
because
okay.
of,
The whole
because of the YouTube channel. I'm trying to get these videos out.
yes. So Sultry Sister just came a part of the YouTube family, which I'm so excited and happy for her. She is very gifted. Um, so please, when you guys get an opportunity, go over to her Tarot for the Soul page, which is on YouTube right now. Subscribe, share, and like. We have also Alicia Dion, who is also a reader, but does not have any businesses out there as of yet. She'll be working on those things. She's very gifted. She has her done readings for me personally, and she has a wonderful spirit and soul. We have Takara Sensei, who is a martial art sensei as well as a former Air Force person. And she also is an artist in her own renown. So those are the ladies that I have at the round table today. And as you know, I am Michelle. I am Blended Healing. I also do have a Etsy shop where I sell spiritual things, whether it's candles, sprays, soaps, whatever you need spiritually. And I also do readings as well. So that's just giving you a background of who's in the who's on the panel today. So going back to the movie,
I have a
the
question
reading, please.
about the movie. Did Monique seek out the psychic?
No,
No,
the assistant, the sister-in-law slash what is her name? What was she?
she
The
was her
sister.
sister-in-law and publicist.
Yes, she did it for a promo.
Oh. So she basically exploited Monique's tragedy.
Yes, and fed information. Yes.
Ah.
Because Monique wrote a book about the home invasion.
Oh, okay.
That's what the background is. So,
I have a
going
theory.
back.
It just came to me. I'm sorry to interrupt you again, but
Hmm.
does anybody else feel like something was in Monique, jumped on Monique in the movie? I don't know the name her character.
Girl, we gonna get to that. We
Oh, I'm
gonna get to
sorry.
that. Hey,
My
beautiful.
sorry. I ain't
We
even
gonna
see the
get to
movie.
that. Hey, beautiful. How
Hey
are you?
Drea,
Thanks
I'm
for
gonna send you
joining
the
us.
StreamYard link.
Yes, please. Absolutely. Send her the link so she can pop up. Okay. Um,
I'm gonna go ahead and
going
be
back to the
quiet now.
movie. So now Emma felt that Sky felt that something was off when she was doing the reading. But just like Alicia said earlier, she felt that she needed to redeem herself for all the bad things that she did with people, knowing that it was a scam. And so what she did, okay. Well, it's your choice, baby. You can come up on the panel or not. It's your choice. Um, good. And you're so beautiful. Okay. So, with that being said, Emma wanted to give back because she felt that she had scammed so many people and that this woman really needed the help. That's what she felt, that she really, really needed the help in order to find answers and wanted to know how her family was doing on the other side, behind the veil. So that's why she continued with it, even though everybody's like, no, you don't feel good. Let's let it go, let's go, we don't have to worry about the money, whatever. So but Emma insisted upon going forward. So now that the sister-in-law told Emma that she did give them some of the information, she started to become excited about it because she was like, yo, this may be good, this is going to be real good as a promo tape. She's really actually tapping in, but not realizing what's about to happen next. So the team, let me see. So Ashley, I already told you that part. So Sky, as she went back in to say, okay, can I tap in and give you the real reading? Monique was like, didn't you do enough? Or was that just a promo? You know? So she just ignored the fact of her sassiness and decided to go in and told her to repeat the names of her people that died or got murdered in the home. So as Monique is doing that, all of a sudden you notice that Sky started to body shift. Okay? Her bones are breaking. She was moving real weird and her eyes were going back up in her head and all kinds of stuff. And her team was all nervous about it because her team was stating that this never happened before. This never happened. Welcome, Life XOXO. Welcome.
Welcome,
Hello.
welcome everyone.
Well, now that you are on the panel with Women of Wisdom, please tell everybody who you are and give us a little bit about yourself, okay, doll?
Sure. My name is Kendrea. I'm 30 years old. I'm a Leo, and I'm
Ow,
kind
Leo.
of, and I'm a baby to this spirituality thing. I'm
No, you're
still
not.
learning. Well, I consider myself a baby. Alicia's my sister. Takara, you can consider her my sister, and I'm just learning, getting better,
Well,
taking in everything.
She is a
welcome,
darn
welcome
good
to
tarot
Glen.
reader, intuitive reader.
Yes, she is.
Excellent. You fit right on in with the group.
Thank
Welcome.
you.
Welcome home. Welcome home.
Thank you so much.
So, with that being said, we're talking and we're going over the movie The Reading. We're down to the part in the movie where um, Sky, the psychic, is now tapping in, really tapping in. All of a sudden, the chandelier starts swinging. The team is nervous because they've never seen Sky with this level of ability, that things are happening and they don't know how to do it. She starts shape shifting in front of them. First,
In the
she
footsteps.
imitates, yes. So the first thing that she started to demonstrate was the fact that oh, let me back up 1 second. When I talk about shape shifting, and you saw her go through the process of shape shifting, have you any of you experienced seeing anybody shape shift?
No.
No.
Holy water will be thrown. No, no, no.
Yeah, I have.
Okay, so shape shifting could be bad. I'm sorry, I got up to, even though the sun is out, it's a little chilly in my room. Um, oh God, I had to climb on the bed. The bed's so high. Um, so with that being said, shape shifting can be good and it could be bad. So that's a process of being body jumped, or some people call it being mounted. Okay. So some people shapeshift, meaning that they're not no longer appearing to be their selves. They have now came on with a different attitude, presence. Their voice may change,
I
something in
take
their
that back. I have. Not that tragic, but yes, I have. I take that back. Yes, I have. But not
shape
to where the
shifting.
bones got to breaking and eyes got
Yeah,
to rolling back. It's just you could tell small details about their features, their face, their voice
right.
that had
That's
changed. It's
changing
like, yeah, you ain't you.
that part. So that's shape shifting. So as we saw Sky being mounted, or as we say, body jump, because it sounds a lot better. Um, you could see that she was shape shifting, meaning that something else or another entity has entered into her body that became more dominant than her. They literally took over her body. So, how they demonstrated that in the movie was her bones cracking and moving, her voice changed, but more prominent, to let you know, and I need you to pay special close attention to this. She started having different veins in her face pop up
Yes, she did.
Oh,
Different color
mm,
veins at that.
that came like a spider, like spidery. You know, when people have varicose veins and they call it the spider? It
mm.
looked like that. You could see the veins pop up in her face in different locations. So then, when she did that and her eyes rolled back and the chandelier started swinging, we knew that a different energy has entered the room. So the first thing that showed the demonstration was her husband came through, and was she mimicked him having a phone call that he had on the phone. Now, without going to the end of the story, I just want to just bring your attention to the phone call that she mimicked, that he had, his very last phone call. Because when he got murdered, he was in his study or his office in the home, and he was stabbed from behind. Okay,
Not
so
not so
that was
much stab Michelle, but took an axe to the head.
I thought that was a knife.
Baby, that was an axe.
It was an axe.
Oh, I thought it was a knife, girl. Okay, so he got hit with an axe from the behind while he was sitting in his office. I'm bringing to your attention the phone call that he had on with a business partner. Okay. Monique is looking all sideways when Sky is now, Sky's body has now taken over and her husband is talking, showing that he's on the phone. She then starts shape shifting again. And she's now the 15-year-old daughter, the teenage daughter, as she's on her cell phone because she got murdered in her room, but I don't remember how she murdered her.
She choked her.
I
She
mean,
jumped on top of her
oh,
and
okay,
choked her.
so she was choked. So the home invasion people allegedly choked her out while she was laying across her bed on her cell phone texting, and she was actually talking like what her texts were like. She was reading her text messages out loud. The little boy was in the bathtub during the home invasion. Sky shapeshift again and became the little boy. And he was in the tub playing with his toys. He was drowned in the bathtub. So as Sky is doing this, and she pops up and she says, "Hi, mommy." Monique or um, Emma freaked out because now the water is dripping out of her mouth. So that's an indication that the little boy had drowned or had water in his lungs. So that's where that came from. So we know that she shape shifted into three different individuals. And Monique or Emma and the sister in law said, "Stop it, stop it, stop it. It's too much," because Emma, it appeared as though she was in dire straits. Like this was too much for her. And even Sky's team felt as though it was too much for her body to go through because her heart rate went sky high, her blood pressure was sky high, and they were trying to, she was burning up with fever. Her body was hot to the touch as she's taking on these other entities that have body jumped her.
Hell is hot.
Right. So they were trying to break her out of the trance and they didn't know how to break her out of it. So here's my question for the ladies on the panel. A, do you stick around and wait to see what that looked like? Or B, do you know how to get yourself out of a trance if you're put into one?
I wouldn't know how to
Uh,
get myself out of one.
I know how to
So
get myself out of one.
I wouldn't
Yeah,
stick
you
around. I'm
got
just
that
gonna be
part.
real with you.
But
Because
again, that's where you come in to have a strong spiritual team or a spiritual coven with you when you go and do these things, because clearly I'm not gonna leave my sister, either one of them, in a trance and leave them there to
I
have
hope you won't.
would not if I
but
have
what
to
if
knock
you
you
are
unconscious and drag you out and talk about it later, we gonna figure something out.
so you would be more comfortable if you were doing those type of readings and something like that may happen that you have somebody that you trust that will be there to pull you
That's
out.
right.
That recognize the
Right.
signs and that will know, that have experienced it themselves, that will know how to get me out of it.
Okay. Now say for instance that you know that you can shapeshift. You know that you allow different entities to enter your body. So therefore you know how to pull yourself out. For those practitioners who do not know that they have that gift yet and it has not happened and they're doing it alone and they're doing a reading alone, what do you suggest that they do if they become mounted or body snatched? What do you suggest that they do when it comes to stuff like that?
You have to you have to you have to push past all of that. Like, because you're still present. You're still there. You can't just let
Mm.
them that take over. You have
Oh,
to, quickly work to regain yourself, because you didn't give them permission to do anything. It is your body. It is your life. They have lived their life. They do not have permission. Like, no, you can't. No, you're not doing this.
okay. So you already, so your suggestion is to set up a boundary with spirits or entity that they're not allowed to body jump you
Right,
right
but
off the
even
rip.
even if you've never had it happen, because like, until I had never had it happen, but I was still present and I was still aware. So when it did happen, when the time came, I had the y'all guys to get the hell up out of here. Y'all can't stay here. Get out, go. Yeah, I
Mm,
can't do this with y'all. Y'all gotta go.
How
okay.
do you get yourself when that happens? For I've never experienced that before.
So luckily for me, um, my kid was here, and he was kind of getting just a tad bit freaked out, but not too freaked out. Like, he was scared, but he wasn't scared because he knew Mama was all right. And what happened is that I saw him with his phone and he was recording me. And I pushed past everybody. I was like, "Oh no, no, this done went too far. Like, move, y'all got to go." And I had to get the phone from him. I'm like, "Yo, give me that before you try to post it anywhere. Let me delete this real quick." So that's what ended up triggering me, because I wasn't alone, and he was here being the usual busybody that he is. So that kind of helped me come forward. That kind of helped. But had he not been here, I think I still would have been able to um push through and push past and bring myself forward, because like I said, I was always present.
Gotcha. So, so you feel as though shape shifting or allowing somebody to body jump you, you're able to control that situation yourself.
It is my body.
Okay.
Yeah. You can.
Unless you are an entity that I have given myself over to freely. Um like when she was saying the names to me, that was like a seance. Why you need her to repeat their names? That's a
That part.
seance.
That
So
part.
don't do that. But like, I haven't given my free will or the use of my body over to anybody. So why do you feel like you can just come in here? No, no, no. You've lived your life. I'm just trying to see what happens to you, player. Just move.
I'm glad you mentioned that because to me, when you mentioned that, I felt it was kind of odd that she asked the names. And when you brought that up, that's exactly what she was doing. She was doing a seance. She was summoning the spirits back.
That is
So
not what she was
that
supposed to
kind of
have been
like
doing.
makes more sense. That makes more sense to me now that it was like a seance without the holding of the hands or anything like that.
Right.
Huh.
It was
So
all those
what's
other
your
people
thought?
who were in agreement to be there for the material, for the monetary gain, rather than for the good of what could have been brought by the closure. Again, they didn't tap in before they got there.
Got you. So what do you think, Life XOXO?
She might not be able to talk. She might be working.
Okay. Any feedback on that, Takara?
I can tell you this right here. Most veterans will find this hard to talk about, especially having had gone to war like I have.
Mm-hmm.
But you definitely learn about shape shifting, and you definitely learn about fighting off entities. Having so many people casualties right around you, having to guard yourself. They will try to jump on you. They will get on you. I've seen it happen. I've had it happen. Um, that in the service where I first learned about closing and opening circuits. Um, it shape shift, and they do want you. That's the main place you start. There, they do want you to become something that you're not. They want you to. I've seen other ones begin to act like certain casualties that would be taken down. You begin to see bunk mates. I saw it in person. They take on the image, even the appearance and the actions of somebody that you know that you lost at war, and they begin to take it on. And they begin so being out there and being around all those, they train you up for it. Being around all that right there, but they don't train you for the spiritual part of it. That takes some knowing, self knowing, or knowing somebody that knows. But I've seen it firsthand happen. They will try to, especially if these people have entities. Those people go down. Those entities get loose and they're free to roam and jump in anybody that's open out there. I had it happen to me. It happens
Okay,
that
so
when you have to
now
learn to
you have
adjust to taking yourself, telling them, hey, I'm not available, or my circuits are closed off. Or basically, pretty much like Alicia saying, having a praying family and a strong spiritual circle,
okay.
because that's deep.
Yeah, because you just opened up a whole nother can of worms. So this is off the beaten path a little bit. When you said that you were trained to not do
Uh-huh.
that, are you talking
Uh-huh.
about U.S. Armed Services training you
Yes,
in
they
that
they
aspect?
train you every step of the way, all the way from blocking out certain things, like they lock you in a room with certain smells that smell horrible. So you will learn to walk past certain things or not see certain things, or um, you begin to. I was blessed to be born with a spiritual nose. That means I can smell entities.
Mm.
So I could smell myself. I don't know how many showers, and I could smell. I knew when somebody been the war I had, because you have a certain smell. You smell like a copper penny. You can tell that you've been in action.
Mm-hmm.
So you can smell those entities and those deities. And I tell people, they train you to see and not see. When I have seen people, we lose a bump makes a casualty. When I have seen somebody in the platoon come back and they take on the action, they even start to look like. And this one girl, she never even wore lipstick before, and we lost one girl in mid-air, and she loved a certain color red lipstick. I noticed this girl started to apply that lipstick, act like her, talk like her. I seen it, and I had to pull her to the side after I talked to my mom and tell her what was going on with her. And it's like when I told her, she went into a seizure automatically.
Oh my God. So
Yes,
I
ma'am.
am floored at what you're telling me right now. So what you're saying
Uh-huh.
to me is that the United States Armed Forces is teaching
Uh-huh.
people how to not that are teaching people about spiritual aspects of different
Uh-huh.
ghosts. They teach that.
Right. It's true. And they
Wow.
teach you. They teach you when to. You have to have someone that loves you to teach you how to get out of it. But they expect to teach you how to. If something wants to take over you, as long as they win, let it take over you. I'm not. I come from a family that's not with that. That's why the saying come from, a piece of you is always still there. You'll forever feel like that.
Wow. You have blown my total mind. Wow. And
They
this is for
before they even
people who
send you to
go.
training, they lock you like, well, the C's courts would just make some people sick. Me, I probably would be okay, because they lock you in a room, and it's something they call prank spray, like fart spray. They spray us with that for hours and hours and hours until we vomit, no matter what we do, until we get immune to it, till we don't vomit no more or whatever, and until we get adjusted. They fire smoke, they put everything. So they train us if we see something, certain things like shaking in the trees and we don't see a person. I mean, they know that. And we even have, they don't say that. That's why we have priests and stuff. That's why we had priests and stuff out there. We actually have had people try to do exorcism out there on the field. It was that bad.
Mm, I am
Because
so
people get
floored.
caught up with those things out there. Some of the people that go out there, you don't know what people are into and what they're dealing with, and they have entities. Some people have sold their soul to this and that, and they get took down. Those entities are looking for another vessel. If you're weak and you're untrained, you don't have a praying family or a spiritual team in your corner, you're open game.
Mm, that's
Is that why some
crazy.
come home with PTSD, or PTSD has nothing to do with that?
Yes, that's why they come home with
Yeah,
PTSD.
I have
Wow.
PTSD and flashback syndrome. And when they tell you in there, when they tell you that that thing is not spiritual, on the contrary, it's very spiritual. A lot of the war cries that we did, a lot of the chants, those were some of the entities. They wanted to help us.
Wow. Wow. I am floored. I am so floored. Okay. Well, that could
And
be another topic
that
for
was
another day.
I believe it was the entity. The reason my parachute fell. My parachute failed at 40 feet in the air, and I almost died. I could see something. It
Mm,
was all black. They were reaching at my parachute, cutting my cords.
mm.
And I had to learn to walk all over again and everything.
Oh my God.
Yes.
Oh my gosh. Amazing. I am, well, we are blessed and honored, and thank you for your service. Um,
Yes.
we definitely,
Still civilian again.
I'm a civilian.
we
I'm sorry.
we're definitely very happy that you are here in your capacity and giving so much and being so transparent. And I thank you for that.
I'm happy you guys. Thank you guys for receiving me, and I'm happy to just. It opened up a lot for me. I got to see a lot of my ancestors, and I got to see the good, the bad, and I'm thankful for people like you and my two sisters here, and it's everybody on the panel, and just having a mother that refused to take no for an answer and knows who she is, her spirituality, and
Mm,
me higher power putting me in that kind of family to where, hey, no, it's not going down like that. Give my child back.
well, thank you so much for sharing. So going along in the movie, um, as they're trying to get Sky out of being jumped, body jumped, and Emma realizing that even though they were trying to break Sky out of the trance, they couldn't do it. All of a sudden, Emma got up and walked away, and they showed that her team were arguing and fighting about the money, about this, about that, and what their plans were, and they start to unravel while they're trying to get Sky to come out of it. Sky did start to come out of it, but like I said, Emma had walked away and she walked out. Then all of a sudden, you start hearing the doors locking around the whole house. Okay. Now, remember in the beginning, I told you that Emma's house was fortified. Um, I kept thinking back is the reason that because we, as far as we know, she had a home invasion, so she was protecting herself from the outside world getting in. The more this movie went on, I thought to feel like the opposite happened. The entity or energy that was in that home, so it would not go out into the
Yep.
world.
Yep.
So that's the way I felt about that. And then she came back with the gun. And then she started, her sister in law, the guy started, said, "Lady, open the door, let us out. We ain't going to say nothing. We got to go." And then Emma shot him, shot the little shady boyfriend. And then she had a whole different demeanor on, whole different look. She put the cane aside as she sat down, and then she shot the boy. And then the sister-in-law watching in horrification that this was happening. Okay, hold on a second.
I haven't even seen the movie yet, but just based off of what is or has been discussed, I was like, something's up with Monique.
Child. So
You
after
have
that,
got to watch the movie. I promise you.
you
Even
saw
though it's
that her
supposed to be
whole demeanor
scary,
changed. Yeah,
yes.
her whole demeanor changed. You could tell that it was not the Emma that we saw so far in the movie. Like her whole face expression changed. She didn't need the cane anymore. And all of that. And her voice came back. Because before, like we said, she had a broken voice. So now the sister-in-law is looking like, what? And then she shot the sister-in-law. And now she says to turns around to Sky and she goes to her. Now tell the reason why I can't let you and your friends leave.
Okay, wait, Michelle. I gotta back you up just a little bit. Just a little bit. I gotta
Okay,
back
go
you up.
ahead, go
Before
ahead.
she before she shoots the sister in law, she shoots the boyfriend in the
Yeah, I did.
chest. Right?
Hmm.
So I ain't never known nobody take a gun chest shot wound to the chest, still live. But it is at that point she goes back to the table before she shoots her sister in law and says, now tell them why you can't leave.
Right. And tell them why you can't leave. So thank you for that, Alicia. I got a
Very
little ahead of myself. So with that being said, Sky is now back to herself and she's got this look of horror on her face because she knows why. Because she was trying to tell everybody, we got to get out of here. We got to go. We got to get out. And that's when the boyfriend was like, yo, just let us out the door, lady. We ain't got nothing to say. We don't know nothing. Just let us go. And the lady shot him. And then when she turned to Sky, she said, now tell them why. So that's when Sky shakily said that because you're the one who killed your family. I was like, oh, stop playing. So
I
now,
knew
just
it.
to let you know, to get a visual, Sky's face came back to being Sky. She was upset. She was crying, the whole 9 yards. And then the sister-in-law just kind of like had this look of horror on her face. And then Monique shot her. And now everybody is getting up from the table and they're saying, run, find a
shot
hiding
and
place.
killed her. She actually died from her gunshot wounds.
Uh-huh.
Impact.
And leaned over her and said, I need you to do me a favor. Say hello to the fam for me. And shot her and
Just
killed her.
trifling.
Just trifling. So now we find out that Emma is actually a murderous, crazy bitch. Okay? We now know this. So with that being said, the rest of the movie was cat and mouse. How Monique is operating as this person. She running around. She doing all kinds of stuff. So as I'm watching this, and it's all about, the friends are being picked off one by one, being killed because there's no way out of the house. The windows are bulletproof. All the doors are locked. All the doors are secure. This chick is running around with a gun and a knife, and these
Having a
people are
field day.
having a field day, saying that this was fun for her as she's doing her serial killer shit.
It
So
looked fun
now
too. Go
it
ahead.
comes out in the movie that the reason why she's doing this is because it was all about the money for
Mm-hmm.
Monique or Emma, so to speak. Her husband
Bad
made her
business
a
deal.
deal that they were going to get married. He was taking her out of the hood and he can give her this lifestyle. She didn't really want kids, but she had 2 kids because that's what he wanted. And she did everything based upon this agreement that they were not going to go broke. But now I'm going to back you up to the phone call that Sky did when she was being body jumped by the husband. The last conversation was that he was in trouble with the business and that he was starting to lose a lot of money on the deals. So, therefore, being money driven or materialistic driven, Monique said, to me, I'm going to cash out. I'm going to kill your ass. And I'm going to plan to get rid of everybody in this house. So I'm not going to be needing for nothing
Splitting the
because you're
money
not
with
going to
nobody.
return.
Yep.
Right. I'm going to take all the money because the life, like, think about it. The life insurance is on the kids, the life insurance on the husband, home invasion. He was a diamond dealer, all of this kind of stuff. She didn't have to worry about money anymore. And she did a book. So she can be in this big house by herself and not want for nothing because it all came down to money. So Sky during the towards going towards the end of the movie, they're running around the house. Everybody's trying to not get unlived. Um, then Monique tried to talk to her. I mean, not Monique. Then Sky, the psychic, was trying to tap in. She said, "But why did you have to kill your children? The children was nothing to do with it, and you thought that she was getting through to Emma by talking to her about her kids." And all this other kind of stuff. And you thought that she was connecting back to the Emma inside of this entity. Because to me, she was possessed
Emma
by
said, Emma said, bump them kids. They wasn't part of the deal. I'm
exactly.
sorry. I'm
That's
sorry.
exactly
No,
what she
it
said.
was true. Do you believe now while watching and
I do believe
critiquing the
that
movie? Mm-hmm.
that Emma was really had because I saw her at the counter butchering herself really bad, and I do
Yeah,
We
believe
ain't
she
got
she
to that
caused.
inflicted
part
her
yet,
own
though.
wounds.
Oh, I
She
thought.
inflicted her own
Oh,
wounds.
Well, go ahead. You done hit it now. Go ahead.
oh. Well, I thought. Well, let me take it back to where she was disabled with the cane. We all seen her walking. I really do believe she was disabled to that point.
I
I
don't.
think whatever entity she let take her over gave her back her energy and speed once she let them take back over after she shot that boy. When she turned around. Because I'm sorry, ain't no woman that age finna whoop my butt like.
That's a great
Boy,
point.
wasn't she strong? Wasn't
She
she
was running
strong?
like she was outrunning everybody,
She
beating
was a track
everybody up.
star.
She was a track star.
It gave her, the energy to go back to because to being, she just changed. I think she wasn't herself.
I,
Monique is not herself if she don't have her snippet.
I think once her secret got found out, once she couldn't deny it. That that she just went ahead and put the cane down and quit the act and the facade, the facade, the facade, doggone it. And
Aside.
she was able to be herself. But I feel like it was just an extravagant act that she put on just for her to stay rich because the song that she was singing and she was rubbing the knife and the gun together going down the hall 1 2 and was coming for you. Yeah.
Oh no, oh no, she didn't do Freddie.
Yes, she did.
Yeah,
She's
she
like,
did.
she said,
1, 2, Emma's
Emma's coming
coming
for
for
Coming
you.
you.
for you.
Yes. And then she was like, Emma's gonna
3,
stay
4.
rich.
Emma's something about 3, 4, something I don't know. But she said something about I'm sealing your fate and all this other kind of stuff.
Yep.
Yes, she
And you
did.
gonna get killed. So she kept doing that all the way up to the
Y'all a
count
little
of
too
10.
good at this song.
Shut up.
But listen. So as I'm watching it, I'm thinking the same thing that you just said, that that she decided to take, down the facade that she was this injured person and became her real true self. But then I had to think about that because as the movie is going on, you are clearly doing this, but are you being possessed by entity, or are you literally just this damn evil? Because in the movie, it just shows that she's just this evil person.
Okay, but see,
Eh,
you got to remember that we only saw brief snippets of her before in the house on the TV show and how she was before her family got murdered. But again,
Yeah,
the foreshadowing of that song, "A Shell of a Woman," that bothers me. That still bothers me.
Yeah.
Everybody is
Mm.
hearing this song played, "A Shell of a Woman."
She did sing. She was playing that.
Yeah,
that was crazy to me.
that's complete foreshadowing. Cause it's like if,
Wow.
listening to the lyrics of the song, because it bothered me that much that I had to go pull it up and look at it. To where I'm like, why is this song so significant? Why are we playing this now? She just kissed her husband, said she had something special for him later, and I guess the axe in the head is what she had for him special.
Yeah. I said what I
Could
said
she have had
about
a mental
her being taken
breakdown?
over by, something is
Yeah,
because
hold on, Dre.
the way they were displaying it at the beginning, it looked like it was 3 or 4 different men in there, but they all had on all black doing it, and it looked like it would have took the strength of a man to do all that. She was just, but when you saw her do it, you're like, wait a minute, hold up. Maybe those things were maybe like showing those things, kind of like showing her in the form. Now, I was talking about shape shifting earlier, because that's like you said, either she was that evil,
She was that evil.
but God, that
She,
she
she was
she
that
was she was
evil.
mercenary.
She was that evil, and the people that you saw in all black was the lie that she made up to cover her
Oh,
innocence. That was her lie that she painted in the book.
oh,
What were you finna say, Drea?
okay.
My perspective is sometimes demons can run you crazy. I'm thinking that
Facts.
she had a complete
Yes,
mental
Lord.
breakdown and it's like eggs scattered, like her brain just scattered because you have to be a
Overgoing
special
broke.
type of crazy. Yeah, to cut your fingertips off and to harm yourself and your children
Yes. But she ain't give a
to that
fuck about
extent.
them children. They weren't part of the
That what
deal.
she said. Wasn't part of the plan. All over money.
And he broke his promise.
So at the same time, I think
Y'all
about it,
making me
if
want
it's
to go
all
hug
over
my
money,
mama.
all about possessions, it is possible what you're saying is true. Um, the possession happened. It has to be possession.
And see, I don't know what color
Something
dress
in
that
here.
I don't know what color dress that was, but she said that dress was her favorite. I need to find out what color that is so I never have to see it again. But she was very aware of the clothes that she had on. And when Sky came down in her sweater, she said, "Bitch, is that my
She said,
sweater?
"Is that my clothes?"
Is that my sweater?" So she was well aware of her possessions.
Oh my
You're
God.
right. But I thought
Yeah.
about another thing when y'all were speaking. Um, you know how a witch rides your back, like in your sleep, like sleep paralysis. I'm thinking
Yeah,
that
Mm.
she was
that
mounted.
possession, yeah, that mounting is the very exact same thing as sleep paralysis. And
Yes.
sometimes the only way to get out of that, and I experienced this for many years, was to tap into a higher power. Or I
Yes.
think the last time I encountered it, I had to mentally block out what's going on and grow big inside myself to be
Mm-hmm.
able to wake myself up. So yeah.
Mm.
I ain't never think of nothing like that.
And it's because of that experience as a child of having a witch riding my back, as they say, as the old people say, having a hag on my back. It is that
Mm-hmm.
experience that allows me to when that happens, when someone tries to what's the nice and friendly phrase we were calling it, body jump me. That's
Uh-huh.
how I can say, hey, no, we not doing this, get out, go. you're not welcome. It's because of that experience as a kid growing up.
Interesting. So, sultry sister.
Yeah.
So, what do you think as far as being possessed by a demon or a certain energy that you have around you? Do you believe that they can just totally take over your body? That you move differently and you're becoming like a stronger person, or that you believe that you're stronger with this entity in you?
Mm. I do believe that that is possible.
Okay. All right. So now let's go to the part where I just want to rewind it a little bit because I listened to you guys talking about the different entities. And remember in the beginning of the movie where they showed that she is playing that music, she cooking and she doing all of this, and it showed the four people that came into her home. So one for each family member, including herself. Did you notice how they were moving?
Yes, like shadows.
Very
Like
fluently.
it was very much so shadow like, almost robotic. So when you are being sent with these different energies or entities that come, seers or seekers or spies or whatever, or however you call them in the other world, they're more like minions of a higher power on the opposite side, like little demi demons, if you want to call it. So that's what I felt when I saw that. And then the conversations that each one, or the things that each one of her family members were doing as they were being murdered, as she murdered each and every one of them.
And
She
then
was
Michelle, I want to
uh-huh.
point something out real quick. I don't know if you stayed for the credits, but when the credits rolled, they had Emma Ledden, Miss Emma, and Emma. They had that name
Huh?
listed three. Yes, they had that name listed three different times. Monique's name was listed in the beginning at the end of the credits three times under that name. Nobody else saw that.
Wow. No, I never caught
I
that.
didn't see it.
Oh wow.
What? No, I didn't see that.
Yes.
Mm, I'm gonna have to go back and look at that.
I wanted
So
to also
now,
speak on something. Go ahead. Go ahead.
go ahead.
So, if the woman felt that way, the psychic, or if she felt that the next time she did had a bad feeling that she would do a reading, that if she would be touched, why didn't she listen to her intuition warning her, screaming, "Don't do it"?
Baby, we
What's the sense
touched
in
on that.
having?
You was a little late. You was a little late, but
You
we
want me
touched
to
My
on
tell
that.
bad.
you?
My
But you
bad.
can tell us your theory though.
She was
No, I want to know what
dignitized.
y'all said. Oh,
Just
that
saying.
doggone man. That doggone man.
She was getting it. Never mind. I'm never mind.
Mm,
Just saying.
I
What do you
appreciate y'all
think?
for filling me in on that one.
Her boyfriend convinced her,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Her
That's
boyfriend
true.
Because
pushed for that.
and then on top of that, um, when she realized what her mama was doing, that's when she gave in.
A
All
breaking
right.
point. Okay.
That was her point. Where she said, because she knew she wasn't going to do it. And then she, like I said, she felt as though she didn't like what her mama was doing. So therefore, that was the deal breaker for her. And they would then she felt that they was going to get enough money so they'll be able to just move on and not do this ever again. So she was
Right.
trying to right her wrongs. That's the
And I
reason
do
why.
and I do want to point out too that if you notice, they were only supposed to get 20 grand, but he was trying to get 100 grand out of them. So Emma
Facts.
felt like they was trying to rob her and take her money.
Facts. Facts. Agreed. So now we're getting towards the end, and all the stuff is coming out of the reason of why she killed her family. Um, but when she was about to kill Sky, Sky fell down and was talking to her and telling her all this kind of stuff. And Monique is like, "Yeah, girl, stop talking. I'm about to end you right now." But it was how she got the gun and the last bullet that was dropped, right? And Sky was able to get that gun. And then she shot Monique before she went to, or I should say, she shot Emma before Emma was able to stab her. But then after that was done, you now end the story where Sky is on the same network with the same anchor woman being interviewed. And then if you look closely, Sky was very poised. She was talking about the story, how it happened, how fake everything was with Monique and all this other kind of stuff. But then when you looked at Sky and really looked at her, you saw that she had the veins in her face,
Yes,
which
she
means
did.
to me that she was possessed by a demon.
Yes, she
So
was.
Emma, Emma was really possessed by a demon, and the demon was able to, when it left Emma's body, when Emma died, it jumped into Sky's being because Sky was not protected, and the energy was able to enter into her body. And
Go ahead.
that's how I
The
felt that
young
they
lady
were
on the
either
panel
going.
earlier, she sure did say that, point that out too. I didn't even pay attention to that.
Yeah, she was
I didn't even
definitely
think about
magic,
that. I
and then
definitely
she
didn't see the
smiled a
veins in
little
it.
bit.
I saw like the weird look she had in her eyes, but I missed the veins.
It's right after she killed Monique and she was getting ready to take a side of release, or shall I say Emma. That vein popped up right up above her left eyebrow. And it was
Oh
very
wow.
subtle. And then the camera faded out.
Oh wow. Jeez.
And then it was the whole, well, how did you get out of there? That well, I just played with the codes until I could get out. No, no, you didn't, ma'am. You knew the code.
There's no way she would have known those codes.
She knew the code because the demon got in her. That's
That's
how
what
she
I
knew the
mean.
code.
Yeah. So that's what it
Question.
was all based upon to me, was the fact that that was a demon possession. But go
Wouldn't
ahead.
we be
Anybody
able
else?
Yeah, I have a question. Wouldn't you be able to see the signs of being in a demonic space or around a demonic presence by like smell or by actions?
Uh-huh.
Yes.
Yeah.
So,
Well,
We always say sulfur if you smell sulfur.
sulfur. Okay. So, with that being
With
said,
children, you'll smell pickles and bubble gum.
she didn't do herself justice because she would have smelled something and known by the nose that it wasn't right.
Right.
So
But
then she would have been able to protect herself, right?
that also goes to her not having people around her that was familiar or in tune with her ability or had abilities of their own, because sometimes as a group there may be something that's on me and I might not be able to see it, but something somebody says to me will trigger something in my head, and I'll be like, I have to sit there and think on it. I'm like, you know what, that behavior was not of me. Let me
Uh-huh.
go look at self. Let me go take a bath. Let me go cleanse myself and protect myself. That's why you
Mm-hmm.
have people around you who are spiritually in tuned and who know who you are. Because if you're not, then yes, of course you're gonna be subtle to um have people spirits jump on you from other people when you're least expecting it.
Hey, that also
Mm.
brings back to the part of the movie where y'all mentioned that she put on her clothes.
She did. She put on the
That
clothes when
could
they
be
got
like,
ready to fight her. To avoid the cuts, avoid getting cuts, because she told her other girl to let go and let God. She said,
oh
"Let go, let
wow,
God, let go, let God, let go, let God, let go, let God." And she had to let go
shit.
and let God. Michelle, you on here twice.
Uh-oh. Hold on. Okay.
There
There
we
you
go.
go. Let go,
I
let
was
God.
trying to upload what you sent me. Salute
Oh,
Shank Rock. Salute. Salute Shank Rock for stopping in. Appreciate you,
hi
brother.
Shankrock. I'm sorry we got over here in this crowdcast.
Yeah. So with that being said, um, I saw what you sent me. So I was trying to upload it. Let's see if I can upload this. But anyway, how do I feel that there's a negative energy around me? It takes my breath away. It feels as though somebody is sitting on my chest.
For me, it's the irritability and the quick to anger, the quick to pop off.
So I had that since I was a kid. I can smell if there's an attachment to a kid. It usually smells like cotton candy, bubble gum, pickle pig feet mixed together. And from the military, what I've noticed, you smell like a copper penny and blood. With somebody that may have a succubus spirit, they will have this fish smell, or incubus spirit. He would have like this tough baloney like smell or something
Not
like that.
baloney.
Yeah.
Michelle's on here twice again. It's gonna echo.
Mm.
I hate being able to smell that.
Miss
Okay.
Sochi sister, you've been quiet. Tell us what you think. Tell us what you think.
Well, I'm listening. Like I said, I really didn't watch the movie, so but just based off of what you guys were saying, my intuition kicked in, and I was like, something was not right with Monique. So and then y'all confirmed it. So I'm just listening to the rest of the commentary. But it's very important. Michelle be giving me my spiritual butt whoopings. Why you ain't protecting yourself? You know you're supposed to be protecting yourself before you this, that, and the third. I was like, I'm
I get fussed
sorry.
at too. I
I'm
get fussed at too.
sorry. You need to take a spiritual ass bath. All right.
Clean
Protect
your
yourself.
energy.
Protect yourself.
Yeah.
So
Claim
this
your
is something
protection.
that Alicia pointed this out. So can y'all look at the screen? Can y'all see this?
Yes, we can.
Now, why is that? Emma leading, misleading, and Emma.
At
That's
what
right.
point during the movie?
And then look, wait, one moment, please. You see how her name, all three of her names are in bold, and everyone else's names are not bold, except
That
for on
part.
their real names.
Because they wanted you to peep that.
Yep.
She was three different entities in this movie.
So I'm curious. At what point during the movie was she these different people? Like what point? Like was she Emma leading, and then when was she misleading, and then when was she Emma?
I think
Emma
she was
was
Emma
when.
when she was killing everybody.
Oh, okay.
Mhm.
I think she was misleading when the kids came in. I think she was Emma leading when the story first opened up and she was telling her story as far as what happened in her invasion in the invasion.
Mm.
That part. Thank you for
The last
pointing that
name
out.
dropped when she was her
Hmm.
true identity was revealed.
Right.
Mm.
Let me ask y'all something. Do you think this right here? Because she sure was able to read that girl as much as that girl was able to read. And those entities have discernment too. Do you think that she could tell that girl was real before she started? Like it's like she was able to read her.
I
It's
don't
like
think
she was
she.
able.
Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Oh, you are. It's like she was. It's like she was able to. She might didn't know what, but it's like she picked up something in particularly special. She was on Sky real hard.
Mm-hmm.
It's like she picked up something on her real hard. So maybe it's not. Maybe she couldn't like really. Maybe reading her is not the right word, but maybe those entities kind of bumped heads with whatever Sky had going on with her, and they could pick up. Okay, because Monique had to get out. Somebody when you're having a light and some people walk in the room where you are and they can't be around your energy, they just have to keep leaving because they're irritated. Yeah, I noticed Monique kept getting up leaving. I mean, Emma kept getting up leaving.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Y'all ever had that happen to y'all before? Somebody just could not be around you because you irked that entity that was in there.
Mm-hmm.
Mm.
Yeah, definitely. Definitely. What about you, sultry sister? Anybody done that to you?
What leave when I'm
Yeah, because I
around?
couldn't take your presence. Yeah.
Mm. I can't remember, but I'm pretty sure probably somebody did that to me.
Thanksgiving food
Wow.
for me at the table.
Say what to her?
I love when they do it. That's more Thanksgiving food for me at the table.
Mm.
No to go play for you.
So y'all, what is the conclusion that y'all come down to as being spiritualists and women with gifts and women who have um women of wisdom? What is your wisdom that you would like to share in regards to this topic of this movie? And excuse me. Um, what would you think about? How would you share? What do you think the outcome is? Like what kind of um advice do you give to other women or other people who have abilities and how they can protect yourself? So I want you to give me your synopsis of using this movie as a propeller, but also what wisdom do you bring to this to wrap it up for you?
For me, it would be number one, if you know that you're getting ready to read somebody and it's scheduled ahead of time and it's not one of those because sometimes spur of the moment, somebody will walk past you in spirit to grab you and tell you to tell this person something. And then you have to tell them real quick and then you have to hurry up and leave. That's why I don't go out public. But
Uh-huh.
my number one thing would be number one, always do your prayer and cover yourself. Always have your protection. Always have protection around you. Like
Mm.
purify your space before you go into the unknown. Because 9 times out of 10, this could have been avoided if she had been in tune with her star player. Her star player would have told her, "Nah, this ain't this ain't what we need to do, boo." So for me, that's it. Because the movie wouldn't have happened had she listened to her intuition.
Oh.
Takara?
My take on it is my grandma used to always give me the scripture that said, don't let your good be spoken evil of." I truly believe that what's the young lady Sky? She had a true gift. I didn't see any bad in her heart. I believe she was somebody, quite like you that would have made a great light worker. That just what I get from it is guard your heart, guard your gifts. Know that you are who you are. You're born with those gifts, and what's for you is for you. But it doesn't take away who you are if you don't want to do something that you shouldn't be doing. Because doing things you shouldn't be doing, it shows me that it's going to always come back around consequential. It's going to be always a karmic debt. So you use your gifts. Don't let the good things in you, be used for other people's mischief.
Understood. Thank you so much for that. Hey, Lady Wu, thanks for stopping by. Um, I think you're absolutely correct with that. That's a good synopsis. Sultry sister, what do you think?
Um, my mind immediately went to the boyfriend and the influence that he had over what's her name, Sky.
Yes.
Be careful of the company that you keep. That's one of my takes.
Facts.
The enemy will use other people to get you to veer off of your path, or to get you to not use your gift, or to uh, use the gifts for your personal gain. So that's what I see here also in that scenario.
Mm,
Had
that's
she had
true.
had Sky, not be digmatized, like Michelle said, she would have been able to see what her boyfriend and feel what her boyfriend was trying to do, and she would have just, cut dude off. But instead,
Mm,
her feelings, leading with her feelings and her emotion and stuff like that, or blinded by, the D, she she went in that house and all of that happened, and now she possessed by a demon. So you got to really,
wow.
be careful with the people you let around you, let influence you, because they'll get you in some mess.
What say you,
Okay.
Drea?
Yeah, thank you.
I agree with all of y'all. Y'all have some really wonderful points. Um, I would say you go speak to your higher power before you do anything, if you're able to communicate and be led before moving forward. Once you do that, I feel like you'll be safe going with whatever destination you go to. Just make sure to pick up on your intuition and to listen to yourself. If you're going one direction, I know this sounds crazy. If you go in one direction and your GPS routes you another way, don't fight against it. Go that other direction because you don't know what's coming.
Or what's ahead of you?
Yeah.
Exactly.
Facts. And then
Can I say
I
something to
go
encourage
ahead.
all of y'all?
Go ahead, Car.
I want to say something to encourage all of y'all and anybody listening. With everything everybody said on here, with all the beautiful points and aspects, all the wonderful ladies on here gave very good words of wisdom. They all circle back around to using intuition and with the company that you keep. That's not going to be easy. Sometimes it's going to be a very lonely walk sometime until you connect with the right people. But it's worth it than to sacrifice yourself. It's going to be a lonely walk sometimes. It will get that way. But it's not worth the sacrifice of just, not wanting to walk alone until you meet the right people. Because a lot of bad things can happen along the way, out of
Mm-hmm.
desperation of just wanting to have company, friends, or a lover. But it can be a lonely walk till you meet the right people. But you just got to be patient and put it out to the universe, and the universe is sending the right people. Don't go chasing people and companions. The universe will bring it to you.
Right. You don't allow people to exploit your gift or make profit off of your gift. What he did was simply prostitute her out in a way. Hey, nephew. And when she allowed that man to do so just for some money, she didn't realize that what's for you will come for you. Spirit will provide. Not saying you don't have to get out there and get it, but all money is not good money.
But yo,
That
did
is
anybody pick up? I'm sorry, Drea. Go ahead.
I was done.
Did anybody pick up how her and the girl had a more intimate and deeper relationship than her and the supposed boyfriend?
yeah, that was her best friend.
I did.
Girl,
I was the first one to pick up.
it was more to that.
Oh,
It
you
was
thought
more
it
to
was
that.
something more than that?
It was more to that. It was more to that.
Yep.
Because why they never showed the intimacy in the relationship between them two. It was assumed they was boyfriend and girlfriend, right? But when once he got killed, the way old girl stepped forward and the way she confronted him about the situation and then turned around and covered her mouth, and the bathroom was the one place Monique would not go into. and they was in there hiding, and she had her mouth covered. Oh, it was something more to their relationship than that.
I don't think that. I think
It
that
was.
if you have a real life friend who's like your friend to the end, like that, like somebody you grew up with or somebody that you had a real extra bond to, like that's my friend, man, do or die, that you would expect them to be that way, like because I'm protected of people that I care about. Like I'll do scorch earth. You know what I'm saying? You mess with mine,
I
I'm
would
going to mess with
too.
you.
But
But I
why would
didn't
they
get
not
I didn't
show?
get that type of energy from that.
But you didn't get that type of energy as a happy couple either. It's love. Like you didn't get that energy. Like it was more like a situationship. Like she had more love for that friend than she had for that guy.
Don't you love your friend better than you love that guy?
I mean, I ain't
You had to
completely
do
got
with
my
that?
guy yet. My guy's still in the spirit realm. So
Oh, my
we
bad,
working
my
on that.
bad, my bad,
We working on
my
that.
bad, my bad.
Yeah,
Like if
I
Don't
let you.
somebody
put
did
me in
something,
a headlock if I'm about to do something that's harmful. So
I put you in a headlock. I tell stow up over some. Yo, when it come to my sisters, all
And she
bets is
about
off.
break my arm off.
Hey, the man should listen now. Y'all telling my
see,
personal
you
business.
just answered your own question, Alicia,
But I'm
because
just
you
in the
are
movie. It just seemed weird. It seemed weird.
now. It did not seem weird
Okay, all
because
right,
that's
okay.
being a do or die friend. That ain't weird.
Cause she
That's
hemmed the guy
exactly
up.
what you would do for Takara and you would do for your own sister.
Them
You do or
sisters
die.
though. Them sisters.
She pulled old boy to the side, hemmed him up, and said, she might forgive you, but I ain't. It's like she had a knife right there waiting for him. Slip up.
Mm,
I got you. I want
that's
you.
what I'm saying. My friend would do that. I would even step to
Uh,
somebody. If you hurt my friend, I'm gonna whoop your ass.
Sure would
That's
without
Word.
right.
hesitation.
right there.
Without
I'm
hesitation.
watching you.
I'd
I'm
be at your house
watching.
8 hours
I don't
away.
even allow nobody to get close to these two right here. When I'm out,
That
just
part.
close to them.
That
Okay,
part.
I release that. I release that thought, but I still say,
Oh Lord.
I
That
like to
was just
see.
showing a real love for your friend. Like I have a friend that I've known since 4 years old. I know that we may not talk every day, but I know if something happened and I pick up that telephone and say X, Y, and Z, I know she'd be right here, be like, where that? What we doing? What we do? What up? You know what I'm saying? I know I got one of them.
I want more backstory in part two.
That's it. Don't I hope it ain't no part two.
It's a part two. They
That
did hint
that
at the
movie,
very end. Yes, they did hint at it. Yes, they did
they
hint at it.
need to have more research into psychics than to do all of that.
And they need to do
But
more dialogue. They need to do a hair budget because old girl weave was irritating
that
me.
stop it.
The least they
Stop
could have
it.
And
done
they
was
need to
slick down
provide
Monique.
us Monique's
They could have
workout
slicked down
routine.
Monique. I mean, for real, they could have
Oh
just, slicked
Lord.
down her edges or something. Talking
You
about
know
your daughter
what?
to perm your hair. Her hair wasn't even permed. It was nappy. It was 5C.
Stop it.
I'm sorry, my
Killing me right now.
bad.
Um, wow. Don't be judgy.
Me
Don't be
being like
judgy.
that, I'm a protector myself. So me being like that, it does give certain things I'm just protective about because of my raising and my morals. So of course, yeah, I'm a female myself, but I'm not. If I see you a guy and you're trying to bully this woman or whatever, I'm gonna step in. I'm gonna say something. So I mean, that's just me. I might,
That's you as a martial artist.
yeah, but it's just by being a protector. That's just me. I just so Shorty might be like, can I get your number? No, you can't have my number. I'm just playing.
Well,
But
I'll hit them low and my sisters can hit them high, and then we can go from there.
See how
You
y'all
don't
gonna
have no
team up
choice
and
but
try
to
to
hit them
whoop
low.
somebody butt?
yeah,
But that's good that y'all stand up for each other. You know what I'm saying? I love that idea because some people don't have people that have their back that are genuine. And y'all, to me, are genuine people. And I appreciate that with each and every one of you. And I so
We try
appreciate
to
you
be.
being a part of the Women of Wisdom Roundtable for the month of February.
Thank you
I
for
try to
having
do it.
us.
Listen, this was such a
I
phenomenal
enjoyed this.
discussion. Oh, this was wonderful. So, when other topics come up or you have a suggestion of a topic that you would like to bring to the round table so we can all sit down and discuss, by all means, please. Um, you could either spearhead it and we can just use the platform for it, whatever you want to do. We can even take it over to Sultry Sisters platform if whatever she wants to do. When Alicia gets her platform up or Takara gets her platform up, when Life XOXO, when she Kendra gets her platform up. Did y'all just hear me say that? Y'all heard me say that.
I was finna ask, but I'm gonna let spirit do what spirit do. You know,
Okay, all right, all
leave
right,
spirit
all
alone.
right. Because we all are in this together. And as things are going on in the world, the way things are, and this the big division that we have, and the big targets that are on our backs as being spiritualists and practitioners, we gain more when we're all together standing in unison than to have the crab in the barrel mentality of tearing each other down. I know that my mission here, which I almost gave up a few times, is that I'm here to teach. I'm
You
here to
can
give my
do it, Pimp
experience.
Lucius.
I'm here to teach. I'm here to lend an ear. I'm here to give my sisters and brothers a hand up when they need it. And that's part of my mission, to serve humanity and to use my gifts and my creativity to bring that home. And those are the vehicles that I choose to use. But most importantly, it is people like you who are not only subscribers, that are friends, that are family, that make this all worthwhile. And a little birdie here once told me, a couple of you birdies up in here done told me that this is my path and this is what I should be doing, whether or not it's one people or 100 people. Just stay the course and stay to do what you're supposed to do.
Okay,
And
Miss Michelle.
mm,
I got a little 10-year-old boy who wanna add his 50 cents into the movie.
okay, go on now.
Come on, kid.
Hey, baby,
Hey, at the end of the movie,
what's your name, baby? What's your name?
yeah, trap.
Hi, welcome.
That's what I have to say about the end of the movie. The way she got out was she had to let Emma possess her, and then she got out. But when she got on the news, she was still possessed. Emma still got possessed. And he just finished watching this in his room.
And that's true. And he's absolutely correct. She got possessed. She absolutely got possessed in order to get out of that home. And she was still possessed at the end of the movie. You're absolutely correct, nephew. Absolutely correct.
And he said there's gonna be a part two too.
Yeah, you could tell they were trying to lead up to a part two. They just need to do better research on it. But thank you, nephew, for your input. I
Okay, thank you.
appreciate you.
Thank you,
You're
thank
welcome.
you.
See, that's what it's all about. The babies opening up their minds and having them think about stuff like that. So at least the more you know, the more you're prepared for. So there's another content creator. I'm gonna steal her line. That she uses. It's better to be ready than to have to try to get ready.
Hey, that's
And
Fact.
right.
that's what this is all about, learning and teaching one another. If you have a gift, like I said, you could be a hand, the other person could be a leg. You have an arm, the other person got the other arm. It's what you do collectively when you come together. You become as a whole, you become as one, because you know that you are definitely spiritually inclined and you're tapped in, as they say. And I even hate hearing that word tap in because it's like it's so redundant. But literally we are tapped in to a higher being. We are tapped into our higher selves. So if they get that education, our children get that education that they have to do in order to function in this 3D world, the aspects of them learning spiritually to actually look at things with a different eye, meaning that they're looking at Earth as the plants, the water, the trees. They're connecting spiritually, knowing that these two have a spirit as well. All of the different elements that we have play a part. They're learning the academic side of it, but they also can learn the spiritual side of it. So that way they become more well rounded and see things as others may see it, but they have another vision to see past the facade of things and how they can function in this world being dual. So I think that's a disservice that a lot of our children don't have. But if you don't know the information, or say that you know the information and you're not sharing it with the collective, then how is the collective going to grow? The other thing that I wanted to bring up is people have a misconception when they talk about dark and light. Each one of us has or possesses a light side of us and a dark side of us. That is a yin and a yang. We have a divine feminine, we have a divine masculine, but we also have a light side and we have a dark side. Most of us tend to lean more into the light because we know the dark means danger. But to operate in this 3D world, we have to have a balance between the two. And I always say, please err on the side of light than dark. But what you could do is be educated about the dark. Because if you educate yourself about the dark, you'll be able to identify it when you see it. So there's nothing wrong to read up on that and to know how to operate in the dark. So when it does come to pass, you're able to identify it and not run from it or be scared of it. So just like you have entities on the light side, that we have the light beings, the angels, the so on and so forth, on the dark side, they also have the same type of setup, except they just want to operate in this earth, the way things are in this earth, the way they can control the energies in this plane and not higher up. Their thing is more of an earthly bound situation. So that's when it comes to the play of the light and the dark. You have to know about the dark in order to identify it, so it doesn't take you off guard. Again, like I said before, the other content creator said it the best. She said, be ready so you don't have to get ready. And I believe in that full throttle. So again, I want to thank you so much for coming in and be a part of this. That's the way I'm going to end, by saying that please be aware. Do not take for granted that you are protected on a daily basis. You have to protect yourself. You have to protect your loved ones. You have to protect your home and your parameter every day, because the dark energies that are out here are definitely here to devour and to take no prisoners. And you being a light worker, it's like turning on a light bulb outside and all the moths start flocking in. So there's chances that you will come across a lot of different energies. So you need to protect yourself at all times. When you are communicating across the other side of the veil, because the veil is very thin, make sure that you set your boundaries with those that you work with. Make sure that you're operating in faith and that you have strong intentions of doing good. Make sure you stay on that path. Make sure you exercise your discernment. When you're getting a gut feeling or your intuition is tingling, that's a message telling you get out and stop doing what you're doing and leave. Pay attention to your intuition. Pay attention to your gut. Pay attention to that. Do not assume because you work in the light and you're doing all of these things for good that you're off limits. You're not. People are going to try to send things at you and send things to you every day. All right? You're always going fighting against different principalities that you don't know anything about. So it's important that we stick together as a unit and we also understand and protect ourselves. If you forget, remind your sister. Did you protect yourself today? Oh, I didn't. Well, girl, you better go in there and do that. It's important because we're out and about and you don't know how many energies are trying to jump on you or what people who are jealous of you are sending your way. You have no idea. But if you're protected, you don't have to worry about it. So I am asking that you all please, please, please protect yourselves and your families every day. All right. Is there any parting words that you would like to give to the people before we get out of here? We've been on here for over 3 hours and it doesn't seem like that. Alicia, any last words?
Always protect yourself, period. Even when you go somewhere, you protect yourself. Like if you're staying in a hotel, you protect yourself in that space. And then when you come back home, you take a spiritual bath and you protect yourself. Because you never know what you've encountered while you've been out. That's all I'm gonna add. You said that. I just wanted to drive it home a little bit further.
Ashe, deep bow, Alicia. Takara,
Deep bow.
any last parting words?
Yeah, I just want to appreciate y'all and anybody listening for allowing me to share my truth and take it as
Facts.
truth and listen to me and just that's a healing process itself to have someone to hear what you have to say. So I appreciate y'all allowing me to even share that part of my life. Y'all, that meant the world to me.
Respect.
Ashe, deep bow to you,
Deep
Sister
bow.
Takara. Kendra, any last imparting words?
I'm just happy to be here. I enjoyed everyone. And I just wanted to state to everyone in the audience, like, if you are in a relationship, you have to keep in mind that you have to love yourself first. And sometimes, if your gut is telling you to leave a person, you have to leave. I'm sorry, but you have to let that situation go. That works in the spirit world, that works in everyday life. If something no longer serves you, you have to release it, or it's going to bring you down and tarnish what you are walking towards. It's going to hinder
Facts.
you.
Deep bow. Thank you for those words
Very
of
deep bow.
wisdom, Kendra.
Deep
Sultry
bow.
sister,
Yes,
any
I am.
last parting words?
I just thank you so much for inviting me to this round table. It was the conversation was very, very fruitful, very enlightening, and I really enjoyed it. I love intellectual conversation, especially Takara's story about the military. That was something I did not know, so that was like mind blowing. Um,
Very mind
just
blowing.
be again, trust. Always trust your intuition. Trust your intuition. Do not ignore it, because spirit will continue to send you signs until you listen. So if you find yourself in a mess, it's because of you. Because spirit is always going to look out for you. They're gonna speak to spirit's going to use other people to speak through you. I mean, to speak to you, not through you, to speak to you. So again, trust your intuition and just be mindful of the company that you keep.
Excellent. Deep bow to you. And congratulations on your debut on YouTube. You
Thank
all
you.
know that you are welcomed here at any time. Welcome home. This is your home. Everyone, I want to thank you so much for tapping in to the Women of Wisdom Roundtable discussion today as we broke down and talked about the movie The Reading and also got to tap into different things in regards to spirituality, having abilities, and what you should and should not be doing from our point of view. We are not here to force you or to make you believe what we believe, but as a collective, we came together and we wanted to discuss these things and see if there's any jewels or gems that can be broken down. I want to thank you again for being a part of Blended Healing family on today. Please, by all means, share, like, and subscribe to this channel. Make sure you check out Sultry Sister's channel, Tarot for the Soul. She also can be found on Etsy. I want to thank you so much again. And with that, ladies, I want to say thank you again for participating. I am honored.
Thank you.
Have a great afternoon and a great day. Make sure that you be a great day too. Asha.